They could win a share of the league championship by Thursday, but I think they would need help. I think they would need help from Mater Dei in order to do that. Santa Margarita's at 3-3 right now. But obviously they still have to play Santa Margarita.
Yeah. And it's weird how they always do. Like last year was end of the series determined the league.
Yeah.
And this year end of the series might determine the league as well.
It could.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell who the biggest competitor is going to be this year. I mean, it looks right now, it looks like it's going to be them, but you know.
But I was seeing a lot of big guys left in a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like by errors and stuff.
Yeah, they scored top of the 7th. The guy who's throwing for them today in his 2 league starts hasn't been all that great. Shouldn't say anything because
Yes. What's his name?
Proust. Dylan Proust. 6'4", 200-pound junior. He gave up 3 against Mater Dei, came away with a no decision because that was when they came back in. He gave up 4 against Jay Serra last week on Wednesday. They lost that game 8-3, I think. He's usually a Wednesday starter. They're moving him up today, and they're moving Roscoe back tomorrow. Because Roscoe threw more than 100 pitches last week, so they're giving him an extra day. Forget who they started. We'll see.
Yeah, definitely.
We got some changes in the lineup tonight.
Oh, we did?
Yeah, Ryland's going to go down. Gurriel's on that second. And Bowen's 5th. Everybody below him moves down when they've got Burrito. We just need some hits. He's like, we just need some hits out there.
Funny because, like Evan said, he was a very good, he still is, but his confidence now is just more big.
It's on the mound, yeah.
But, man, he was a kid.
Okay.
I mean, that kid was great. He was a very good
I'm sorry about that. Good, how are you? Yeah. Yeah, he's in the car. All right, time to have some fun.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Orange, California, where we open up a new series this evening as Orange Lutheran takes on St. John Bosco. Orange Lutheran comes in at 7-2 in league play. They are 12-2 overall. St. John Bosco is 4-2 in league play, and the Braves are 11-3 overall. This could very well turn out to be the most important series of the season for both of these teams as they come in jockeying for position at the top of the Trinity League standings. Good evening, everybody, once again. Welcome to Hart Park. My name is Nathan Percy alongside John Legg, who's providing the visuals, as always, here this evening on the Coach's Radar, and you're listening live here on CA Sports Zone as well. A bit of a chilly night tonight here as the sun is still setting out towards the west, and these two teams getting prepared for an important series here starting tonight at Hart Park. Again, Orange Lutheran coming in off a loss last week on Friday, 3-1 at the hands of Mater Dei. The Lancers won the series, but in terms of trying to gain ground on competition and stretch that lead at the top of the league standings, a bit of a disappointment on Friday as they lost that game 3-1. St. John Bosco on the other side also motivated to get off to a good start tonight after they lost 2 out of 3 to J. Serra, losing on Wednesday and Friday by finals of 8-3 and 8-1. The Braves had started 4-0 in league play before those two losses, and again they come in at 4-2 overall. They're also missing their best player in Dylan Lena, who did warm up tonight, but that hamstring not quite ready to go. He will not be available here for tonight's game. We'll get you the starting lineups here in just a moment, and then we'll get to our pregame guest. We talked with right-handed pitcher Jordan Cole before the game tonight, but again, a chilly night here at Hart Park compared to what we had last week. It's 64 degrees. It feels a little bit colder, however. Perhaps we just got a little bit too used to the warm weather last week. Was raining yesterday, but thankfully it is cleared for tonight, and we will have baseball here on a Tuesday evening. Let's get to your starting lineup, starting with Don Barbara's St. John Bosco Braves. Barbara in his 8th season at the helm of this program, and the Braves return most of their players from last year's team that went 6-21 overall, 1-14 in the Trinity League. Much better to start here in 2022. They look like this. Sergio Gonzalez, the shortstop, will lead things off. Hunter Friedberg in left field will bat second. Catcher Dillian Tagiam will bat third. Jackson Sharman, a late addition as the designated hitter, will bat fourth. Nico Riera, the first baseman, to bat fifth. Caleb Milana is a late insert into second base, batting sixth. Aiden Alexander, the third baseman, will bat seventh. Adam Kramer in right field will bat eighth. And Caleb Brandon, the center fielder, will round things out, batting ninth. Once again, that's Gonzalez, Friedberg, Tagiam, Sharman, Riera, Milanez, Alexander, Kramer, and Brandon. Starting pitcher tonight for the Braves, 6'4" junior right-hander Dylan Proust, who has pitched twice so far, has had 2 starts so far in the Trinity League, has struggled a bit out of the gate, but does have good stuff. He will get the start here tonight, perhaps a day early, as he was the Wednesday starter each of the last 2 weeks. They're giving Julian Orozco one more day of rest after throwing 100 pitches in last week's game against J. Serra. Now for the home team Lancers under the head coaching of Eric Borba. His lineup looks like this. Ben Ryland will lead things off. He's playing left field. Derek Curiel moved down a spot to number 2. He's playing center field tonight. Mikey Romero batting third. At shortstop, Casey Borba, the third baseman, will bat fourth. Carson Bowen at catcher, will bat fifth. Gabe Miranda, the first baseman, will bat sixth. Sawyer Vortman will play right field tonight. He is batting seventh. Chase Cummings, the second baseman, batting eighth. And Jacob Parita gets his first start of the year. He is the designated hitter here tonight as head coach Eric Borba looks for some other options to try to get some base hits after last week's loss. So once again, Ben Ryland, Curiel, Romero, Borba, Bowen, Miranda, Vortman, Cummings, and Parita. Your starting pitcher for the Lancers here tonight is left-handed senior Oliver Santos, who comes in with a record overall of 3-0. He's 2-0 in Trinity League starts this season with a .91 ERA in those 3 starts, as he comes off a victory last week against Mater Dei in which he went 5 2/3 innings of work and allowed just 1 run. So Oliver Santos gets the start here tonight against Dylan Proust. Should be a good one here as we're just getting set for baseball here. We'll get the first pitch. We'll get the opening invocation and the National Anthem in just a moment. But first, let's get to our pregame guest. We talked with right-handed reliever Jordan Cole before the game tonight, and here's what he had to say about his role and about what his goals were heading into his junior season. Once again, Jordan Cole here on the pregame show.
everything that I do.
All right, I'm here with Lance's junior right-hander Jordan Cole, and Jordan, obviously a good start for you on the mound, coming in out of the bullpen in relief. Unfortunately, one run allowed on Friday against Mater Dei, but aside from that, you've been pretty lights out. What's been working really well for you so far this season?
I just probably just like a mix of all three pitches working so far: fastball, changeup, and curveball. Being able to throw those in any count has been a big part of like my success this season for sure.
Gotcha. You seem to have a relaxed approach when you're on the mound. Is that something that you usually go out there with? You feel like if you're relaxed, you perform a little bit better?
Yeah, I'm kind of known as like a more calm person, relaxed person for sure, and I kind of just want to be calm out there and not to get too amped up, not to get anything going crazy.
Gotcha. Yeah. Now coming in, obviously out of the bullpen, following guys like Oliver Santos, Luis Rodriguez, more often than not, you get a chance to come in with a lead. What's that like trying to come in? Do you feel pressure to try to preserve those leads, or are you just trying to stick to your game plan?
For the most part, just trying to stick to my game plan. I'm super thankful to come in beside such good arms, give us a chance to win every game, pretty much. So I consider it like a blessing more than a curse.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Coming into the season, your junior campaign, with this pitching staff, what were some of the thoughts that you had prior to the season with the role that you've been given? What were some goals that you had set for yourself this year?
I knew it was going to be a grind all summer because I knew the class we had coming in, we were going to be a good team with a lot of arms, a lot of really good arms, and I knew if I wanted to have a chance to make a big impact this year, I'd have to work really hard. So sticking to the plan and trying to get better every day.
And tell me about some of the young guys you're working with too, Ross Clark, Brady Strom. Have you been able to kind of work with them out of the bullpen and kind of figure out, or bounce ideas off each other in terms of plans of attack?
Yeah, for sure. Those are two really good, young arms that are going to be really, really good one day. So it's fun to watch them as they kind of grow up and come through. And I see myself in them a little bit, so it's a lot of fun.
Gotcha. Now tell me a little bit about yourself coming up in the sport of baseball. What really attracted you to the sport, and who really helped you get to this point in your career?
Probably I played a lot of sports growing up, but I think baseball stuck out the most to me. I just had the most fun playing with Little League with my friends and stuff growing up and my community. And probably my dad probably got me in the sport the most. He played baseball a little bit in college. He's more of a basketball guy, but he just always pushed me to be my best, so that's probably why.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Getting your first start tomorrow, this is something that I just learned right before I talked with you, but, how pumped up are you for that? And, what goes through your mind, at first reaction when you hear that?
Yeah, I'm really excited, and I'm really thankful for the opportunity that my coaches have trusted me to go out there and throw tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Pitching in front of the home crowd at Hart Park, does that amp you up even more?
Yeah, it's going to be really fun. A home game on Wednesday night's always a fun one.
Tell me about the offense. Obviously, when you're pitching, more, like I said, more often than not, you usually come in when you have a lead. But, tell me about the offense. And, if this team does get behind, does the offense kind of give you that confidence to know that you guys will get back into this game?
Yeah, we've always been right around, always in every game we've played so far. We even had some games, even last week against Mater Dei, we started off down and no one even batted an eye. We just came back and were able to win the game, confidence.
Obviously, this is a big series here against St. John Bosco. They're second in league right behind you guys coming into this one. Have you had a chance to talk about, what they like to do and what are you anticipating from them this week?
We haven't talked too much about them yet, but I've watched some film on them. They look pretty good, pretty aggressive at the plate. They're going to be ready to go for sure. They're going to want to beat us just as bad as we want to beat them, so it's going to be a fun series.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And, last question for me. Once again, we're here with Jordan Cole, but this season, obviously, there have been a couple of losses on the Friday games in league play against J. Sarah and Mater Dei. What was the conversation like, after that loss, and how pumped up are you guys to get back after it here today?
Last Friday, we know we didn't play at all to our best of our ability. We didn't really deserve to win that game almost, but just knowing that we're bouncing back, coming back for this series, I think we're just all fired up to just prove everybody wrong this week that we're the best. Yeah.
Better to have those little hiccups early in the year rather than later. So we know that you guys will bounce back. We're really looking forward to seeing what you do tomorrow on the mound. Best of luck, and congrats on the success so far. Thank you for the time, Jordan.
Thank you.
Once again, Jordan Cole on the pregame show, one of the more reliable arms out of the bullpen for the Lancers this year. He has pitched in 10 2/3 innings. He's allowed just that one earned run that he gave up on Friday, but he struck out 14 and walked 2. He's got a save to his credit as well, and good to get to chat with him for a little bit, and of course a little bit of excitement with him as he gets the start tomorrow here at Hart Park against St. John Bosco. But there's matters to tend to first. They've got a game here tonight. Oliver Santos about ready to head to the hill as the Lancers are being introduced here before we get to the invocation and the National Anthem. Again, we're here at Hart Park on a cool Tuesday night. Not quite cold, but it'll get there. It'll probably get to the upper 50s as the game goes along, but again, both of these teams looking for a bounce back here tonight. Orange Lutheran falling last Friday at Mater Dei here, or pardon me, at home against Mater Dei, I should say, by a final of 3-1. And of course, St. John Bosco falling in last Friday's game against J. Sarah by a final of 8-1. I believe St. John Bosco was on the road for that one as well. They are on the road here for 2 this week, and then we wrap it up on Thursday at Long Beach State at Blair Field. But before we get to this one here tonight, let's step aside for the opening invocation and the National Anthem. We'll be right back with more here on CA Sports Zone on the Coach's Radar.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for your guidance in safely bringing all those in attendance at the ballpark tonight. We are grateful for the range you've provided over the past day and that you've now calmed the heavens, providing these high school athletes the opportunity to play this great American pastime. Throughout the course of the season, we've come to you through prayer, Lord, thanking you for all the wonderful blessings you bestowed on us and requesting that you watch over the competitors as they compete in your glory. We come before you again, praying for your watchful care over them, and may good Christian demeanor be reflected through their actions, as well as the actions of the coaches and fans. Finally, tonight, as we gather as players, coaches, and fans, we come to you, Lord, our healer, as we lift up to those whose names are in our minds thinking of during this prayer. Whether it be an illness, an injury, or the loss of a loved one, we pray for your healing and comforting presence be felt amongst them. Strengthen their bodies and souls, Lord. God, you are almighty, and we thank you for your presence being felt here tonight as we pray all these things in your holy name. And all its people say, amen. Ladies and gentlemen, please continue standing as we honor America in the playing of our national anthem.
Welcome back to Hart Park. We're just about set for Tuesday night baseball here on a cool night in Orange, California. Oliver Santos has the jacket off. He's heading to the mound here to get things started for Orange Lutheran, looking to get back in the win column here tonight after suffering their second loss of the season against Mater Dei, 3-1 on Friday. This series last year against St. John Bosco was a sweep. It will be tougher this season. It's most of the same names for the Braves, but a heightened level of play for St. John Bosco this year, and there are a number of factors that have gone into that, according to head coach Don Barbara. But this one should be a fun series between two good programs as Orange Lutheran and St. John Bosco do battle once again, this time in 2022. Again, Oliver Santos on the mound. He is 3-0 overall this year. In 25 1/3 innings pitched, he's allowed 2 earned runs on 14 hits, 36 strikeouts to 6 walks. He's got an ERA of .55. So Santos, the left-hander, will get the start here tonight. and he will be opposed a lineup that has hit pretty well so far through 14 games of the year. Sergio Gonzalez, Hunter Friedberg, and Dylan Tagium to lead things off for the Braves here at the top of the first inning. And if anybody gets on, the designated hitter, Jackson Sharman, will bat fourth. Orange Lutheran wearing their home white uniforms with the red L on the chest, the red numbers on the front and back, the white pants, but they have switched things up a little bit tonight. They're wearing the black high socks and the black hats with the gold crest on the front and the red bill. And some of these players, in fact, most of them, have black undershirts on as well. Normally, they would wear red socks with red caps tonight, but they are switching things up here and going with a little darker flair this evening. We'll see if that makes any difference here for the Lancers as they get set to go here in game number 15. Officially the start of the second half of the regular season for both of these teams, as they both have 28-game schedules. This is game number 15 for both of them. So Sergio Gonzalez will step in. Right-handed batter playing shortstop tonight. He would have played second base, but Dylan Lena not quite ready to go off of that hamstring injury. And again, that's a huge loss for St. John Bosco. As the first pitch comes in from Santos, it's up and away on the right-hander, and we are underway here at Hart Park. Couple minutes tardy at 7:02 with a game-time temperature of 62 degrees. Here comes the 1-0 check swing, and that one's upstairs. That one's fouled off. I apologize. 1 ball and 1 strike. Gonzalez 5'5", 140 according to the roster. Even stance at the plate. Holds the bat handle behind the helmet. Here comes the 1-1. And that one misses a bit upstairs. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Again for Santos in 3 league starts. 15 1/3 innings pitched. He's given up 2 earned runs. On 9 hits, 16 strikeouts to 4 walks. 2-1. Up and away. 3 balls and 1 strike. Santos gets the start tonight. Jordan Cole tomorrow for the Lancers. And on Thursday night, you'd have to think that would make way for Luis Rodriguez, who will start at Cal State Long Beach. This one upstairs as well. It's a 5-pitch walk to start things off as Sergio Gonzalez makes his way over to first. And with 1 on and nobody out, it'll be Hunter Friedberg due up next here for the Braves.
Left fielder, number 15.
Well, this Braves team, they took their lumps last year. It was supposed to be 2020. That was the tough season for St. John Bosco, but because of the pandemic, that got moved back a year to 2021. They went 6-21 overall, 1-14 in league play. Off to a good start this year, 11-3 against some pretty tough competition out of Orange County before they jumped into league play. As Santos kicks and deals, this one a breaking ball in there for a called strike on the left-handed Friedberg, and the count is 0-1. Started off league play, did St. John Bosco this year with a series sweep of Mater Dei to go to 3-0. They then won their 4th game against J. Sarah before losing the final 2 in that series. Friedberg again shows bunt, pulls it back, takes a fastball on the outer half, and the count goes to 0-2. Hunter Friedberg, 5'10", 170 in his junior season. This Braves team is a senior-heavy roster with 6 juniors on the squad, no sophomores or freshmen. Santos fires the 0-2. This one a bouncing ball towards second. Cummings picks it up. Will only have 1 play. It works as a bunt anyway, as Friedberg is retired for the first out. Making it to second base safely is Sergio Gonzalez, and the Braves have a runner in scoring position.
Batting third, the catcher.
So 1 out, runner at second. Dylan Tagium, the starting catcher, will make his way to the plate. Let's get that Orange Lutheran defense introduced to you. Carson Bowen, the senior behind the plate. Gabe Miranda over at first base. Chase Cummings at second. Mikey Romero at short. Casey Borba at third. And left is Ben Ryland. And center is Derek Curiel. And in right is Sawyer Vortman tonight. First pitch on Tagium a bit low. The count's 1 ball and no strikes. Dylan Tagium, 5'10", 175. Batting in the 3 spot here this evening. Jackson Sharman, the man on deck. Tagium, an open stance for the right-hander, bends the knees at the plate. Gonzalez gets a lead over at second. Here comes the 1-0. This one lined out towards left. Ryland's got a beat on it. He'll make the catch. Back to second base goes Sergio Gonzalez, and with 2 outs and a runner at second, Jackson Sharman will have to try to get a base hit to bring home the runner. Put a good swing on it there, did Tagium, but Ryland didn't have to range too far to his left to make that catch, and now it's on Sharman to try to get a base hit or at least keep the inning alive for Nico Riera. Top of the first, 2 outs just underway. Runner at second base for St. John Bosco, the first of a 3-game set between these two on back-to-back-to-back days. Here comes the first pitch on Sharman, and that one's called a strike on the outside half, about letter high, and the count's 0-1. Jackson Sharman listed as a catcher. He's a junior, 6'2", 185, right-hander who bends the knees at the plate. Leans in a bit with the upper body. Santos out of the stretch, looks back at second base, and will fire to the plate, 0-1. That fastball just misses inside, and the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Santos will throw a fastball, a curveball, a slider, and a changeup. And when he's got those 4 pitches working, he is dangerous. He's not given up more than 1 run in a game so far this season. Gave up 1 against Mater Dei last week. Gave up 1 against Servite the week prior. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch, and that breaking ball's in there for a called strike. It buckled the batter, and the count's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nico Riera on deck. It's the Braves wearing their road gray uniforms with the blue stripes underneath the sleeves and down the legs. Bosco written in blue letters on the front with white trim, blue letters on the back. Here comes the pitch, and that one's low. Gonzalez will retreat back to second as it's blocked by Bowen. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Wind coming in ever so slightly from the outfield here tonight. Again, it's a much cooler night than it was last week against Mater Dei when Orange Lutheran hosted on Wednesday and Friday. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Santos looks back at second and fires to the plate. Fastball upstairs. It's full, 3-2. Sharman in league play so far this season, 1 for 1. Has not factored into any scoring. This will be his first start in league play. He's worked the count full here against Santos. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here it comes, and that one misses outside. Another walk here to Sharman. That puts runners at first and second with Nico Riera to be next here for the Braves. Bosco patient so far. Couple of free passes already earned here against Santos, and now Riera will step in here. The first baseman is 6'3", 185 pounds. He's committed to UC Irvine after his senior year. Right-hander with an open stance. Holds the bat handle chest high as Santos gets his sign. Now lifts it up above the shoulder. Here comes the pitch. Breaking ball check swing did not go around, and the count's 1-0. Sergio Gonzalez at second. He walked and moved over to second when Friedberg bounced out to second base. Dylan Tagium then lined out to left. Jackson Sharman earned a 6-pitch walk, putting runners at first and second. Santos looks back at second. Here's the pitch inside, and the count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. Orange Lutheran trying to break a trend of giving up runs in the first inning. They've done it in 3 of the last 5 games they've played. Here comes the 2-0. That one's low. 3 balls and no strikes. Against Mater Dei on Friday, they gave up 2 runs in the first inning. They weren't able to recover from that. And in 2 games against Servite on Wednesday and Friday, they gave up multiple runs. 2 in the first on Friday, 3 in the first on Wednesday a couple of weeks ago. 2 outs and a 3-0 count. Runners at first and second, and that misses low. Ball 4. Bases are now loaded here for St. John Bosco. So now it's on Caleb Milanes, and quickly walking out to the mound. The pitching coach here for the Lancers ready for a mound visit here as Santos struggling to find the strike zone over the last couple of batters. Bases loaded here in the top of the first with 2 outs. St. John Bosco trying to get on the board early here against Orange Lutheran, as Caleb Molanes will be the next man up. This is Lancers Baseball on CA Sports Zone and the Coach's Radar. Well, friends, the sponsor of Orange Lutheran Baseball, Superior Truck Supply, is a leading provider of family-owned heavy-duty truck parts in Los Angeles and Orange counties. Once again, that's Superior Truck Supply. See what kind of effect the mound visit had here in the top of the first as the wind starts to pick up from left center field. Caleb Molanes will step in. Again, he was a late addition into the lineup here for St. John Bosco as Dylan Lena just wasn't quite ready to go tonight. And now Molanes already put into a big spot here. The 5'9" senior playing second base. Crowds the plate a little bit, bends the knees, and has a slightly closed stance here against Oliver Santos. First pitch, this one lifted into right field. Going back a few steps forward is Vortman. He'll make the catch, and the new right fielder gets Orange Lutheran out of the inning here in the top of the first as the Braves strand the bases loaded. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 3 left on base. We're through half an inning here at Hart Park. St. John Bosco, nothing. Orange Lutheran coming up. This is Lancers Baseball on CA Sports Zone and the Coach's Radar. Well, baseball fans, are you looking for a reliable, cost-effective commercial cleaning company in Orange County? Then contact Jet Clean Janitorial at jetcleaninc.com to handle all your commercial cleaning needs. Jet Clean, the finest and the fastest, guaranteed. And Lancer Baseball sponsor K-Zone Training Center is an indoor baseball and softball training facility located in Yorba Linda. Open 7 days a week. It offers 5 lanes, including 2 with pitching mounds and hack attack machines, 3 tee hitting areas, and hit tracks. Appointments can be booked online at kzonebpcages.com. That's kzonebpcages.com. K-Zone Training Center. Book your appointment today. Dylan Proust to the hill here for the Braves as we head to the bottom of the first. He'll face off against Ben Ryland, Derek Curiel, and Mikey Romero. As the Lancers head up to the plate for the first time tonight, Dylan Proust, 6'4", 200 pounds. The junior right-hander comes in with a record on the mound. No official record on the mound. He's made 4 appearances this year with a 4.02 ERA and 15 2/3 innings of work. He's allowed 9 earned runs on 17 hits, 8 walks to 17 strikeouts, and he's allowed 1 homer this year as well. Dylan Proust was the Wednesday starter in last year's series, which was the lowest scoring game of the series between these two teams. Last year, Orange Lutheran opened it up with a massive 23-0 victory. Game 2 much closer, I believe it was 4-0, and then Game 3 was 9-4 as the Lancers closed out the sweep. Again, as we mentioned, the names are the same, but this team is much different than it was last year. And we'll introduce the defense for you after Ryland's at bat here in the bottom of the first. So Ryland moves up to the leadoff position. He was batting in the 7th spot in last Friday's game. He went 0 for 3, did reach on an error, but was stranded at second base early in that contest. Curiel will bat second as the first pitch comes in from Proust. That one misses a bit up and away, and the count's 1 ball and no strikes. Trying to get those left-handers early in the lineup here against the right-hander. All 3 of the men due up in this inning are left-handed, as that breaking ball hits just below the letter, and the count evens out 1 ball and 1 strike. Ben Ryland playing left field, about 5'8". Left-hander, even stance at the plate. Has had some big hits already in Trinity League play. Remember, this is the 4th week of league play for the Lancers already, 4th consecutive at that, as it's been a grind this month here in March. Of course, this is a series not to jump ahead because they are heading to North Carolina next week for the NHSI. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Up and away. It's 3-1. And again, this Bosco team did take 1 over J. Serra. They've got 2 tough matchups after this as well against Santa Margarita and Servite. But this would be big if they can get a couple of wins here this week, as this one is swung on and missed, and the count goes full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. A tournament next week, Wednesday through Saturday out in North Carolina. Again, Orange Lutheran has to focus on the task at hand here this week. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch on Ryland. It's upstairs, and it's a leadoff walk here for the Lancers. So just like the top half of the inning, leadoff man earns a walk here in the bottom half of the inning for Orange Lutheran, and with a runner at first, Derek Curiel will be the next man up. So Ryland gets on base. See what they do if they put him in motion at any point during this at-bat. And now it'll be Derek Curiel, who would like to get back to his hitting ways. Last week, a week to forget for the sophomore as he went 0 for 10 against Mater Dei with 1 walk late in the ball game on Friday night. See if a change in batting order will do him some good here as he steps in. Proust out of the stretch, will kick and deal. Fastball low, and the count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. Tagiam will head out and have a chat here with his right-hander. Orange Lutheran has had a lot of success against St. John Bosco over the years in Trinity League play. In their history, Orange Lutheran is 34-8 in 14 league seasons against St. John Bosco. 13-1 in terms of series wins. The lone loss was in 2017 when St. John Bosco swept the Lancers, who were coming back from the NHSI, their first championship at the NHSI that year. St. John Bosco would go on to win the league title that season. 1 ball, no strikes. Proust will throw over to first, and back in standing up is Ben Ryland. Braves that year were in Division II. They would go on to the semifinals in the Division II playoffs that year. Lost to Etowanda, who would go on to win the championship. They had 3 excellent pitchers on the mound that season, did the Braves. Here comes the 1-0. This one a bouncing ball. That's through the hole on the right side. It looked like the glove of Riera might have slowed it down a bit into right field, but either way, that'll be a base hit. And the Lancers now have runners at first and second here with nobody out, and Mikey Romero due up next. So Curiel gets a bouncing ball, hit hard enough to get past Riera, who was close to the bag holding the runner. And now the Lancers with an opportunity to put up runs here in the bottom of the first with their best hitters coming up. Mikey Romero due up next. Had a homer last week against Mater Dei. And comes off a 1-for-4 performance with the lone run scored against Mater Dei on Friday last week. Left-hander with the open stance. Here comes the first pitch. It's a breaking ball, and it drifts back into the strike zone. 0-1. Romero, 6'1", LSU signee. Batting average still over 300 at 327 heading into the contest tonight. RBI opportunity for him here as the pitch comes in. That one's a bit low, 1-1. That 2017 season, while it was successful for St. John Bosco, not so much for the Lancers. They ended up finishing that year 18-12, and they were no hit out of the playoffs in the first round. That was a team that started 12-1 and then finished 6-11 after that. They were 12-1 after winning the NHSI title. They would lose all 4 of the league series down the stretch, and they would actually finish 5th in the league that year. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch up and away, 2-1. That really was a turnaround for Orange Lutheran the following year, led by Zach Liu, Caleb Ricketts, and Cole Wynn. They ended up jumping back up to win the league championship and won a then record 25 games and going 25-8. And reaching their way to the semifinals in 2018, and Orange Lutheran has been a mainstay up towards the top since then. Here comes the 2-1. Hits the outside edge there, and the count goes to 2-2. Again, we're here in the bottom of the first. Runners at first and second. Nobody out. A 2-2 count here on Mikey Romero. Ryland at second. He walked. Curiel followed with a ground ball base hit to the right side. 2 balls, 2 strikes here on Romero. Casey Borba due up next. Proust looks back at second. Here comes the pitch, and that one misses low. It bounces. Both runners are going to go. Proust is going to be the one to field this, and both runners will get in safely. Curiel slide a little curious over there at second base. But that puts runners at second and third with nobody out, and the count goes full here on Mikey Romero. After his at-bat, we'll introduce the defense here for St. John Bosco. In at third base now is Aiden Alexander. Riera even with the bag at first. Proust in some trouble here in the bottom of the first. Here comes the payoff pitch, and that one misses low. Romero will head down to first, and now the Lancers have the bases loaded here with nobody out. Casey Borba due up next before he gets going, and actually as we have a meeting of the minds on the mound here for St. John Bosco, let's introduce that defense for the Braves. Behind the plate, senior Dylan Tagiam. At first is senior Nico Riera. Caleb Milan is a senior at second. Sergio Gonzalez, the senior at short, and senior Aiden Alexander at third. In left, Hunter Friedberg, he's a junior. In center is Caleb Brandon in his senior season, and in right field also a senior Adam Kramer. Again, Dylan Proust on the mound. He has walked two and allowed a hit to the first three batters of the ball game. And now Casey Borba in prime position here to try to give the Lancers an early lead. We're still in the bottom of the first. Both teams have now had the bases loaded here in the first inning. St. John Bosco did it with 2 outs, however, and Caleb Milanes flew out to end the threat. Let's see if the Lancers can get something going here with nobody out. Proust has got a lot of work to do to get out of this inning. Again, 12-2 Orange Lutheran, 11-3 overall for St. John Bosco. Braves will play in the National Classic next week. They'll stay local. Santa Margarita also in that tournament. So Orange Lutheran and Servite head out to North Carolina. Jay Serra and Mater Dei. Off the top of my head, not sure what they're doing, to be honest with you. Might be taking the week off. Here comes the first pitch, and this one a check swing by Borba. He went around. The count's 0-1. Could also be that they're playing a league series against each other next week as well. They haven't played each other yet. Borba here at the plate. Bases loaded. Coming off an 0-for-4 performance last week on Friday. Trying to turn things back around. Here comes the 0-1. A breaking ball. That one misses low and away. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Borba's been good in league play this year. .360 batting average in 9 games. 9 for 25. Team high, 7 runs batted in league play. And he ranks second on the team in runs scored with 6. Of course, those massive 3 home runs against Servite and Mater Dei in back-to-back weeks as that pitch misses low and away. A fastball from Proust, and Borba's ahead of the count. 2 balls and 1 strike. Again, Bosco, the defense playing at double play depth. They'll take a ground ball double play and allow a run to score. A lot of base runners tonight, 6 of them total for both teams combined, 5 of them on walks. Only base hit, Derek Curiel, who's at second. Here comes the pitch, and this one is popped up. That'll drift out of play. Count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. On deck is Carson Bowen. Again, for Proust heading into the game tonight in league play, 2 starts, an 8.65 ERA. He is 0-1. That loss coming last week against Jay Serra. Game that the Lions won 8-3. 5 2/3 innings of work. He's allowed 7 earned runs on 7 hits, 3 strikeouts, and 6 walks. This one chopped foul as Borba stays alive. It's 2-2. And he'll get a jump from some of the Pooches who are hanging out on the Orange Lutheran side of the backstop. They've been there pretty much all season long. Just lying down enjoying a nice evening here at Hart Park. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Proust out of the stretch. Again, bases loaded, nobody out. Here's the pitch, and this one a ground ball to third under the glove of Alexander. Ryland scores. They're going to stop Curiel at third as they go station to station. And Orange Lutheran takes a 1-0 lead and an RBI base hit by Casey Borba. So not wanting to risk it, as getting to the ball quickly in left field was Hunter Friedberg. They stopped Curiel at third, and it remains nobody out. A 1-0 lead, and now it's Carson Bowen who comes to the plate. Bowen had a good week last week against Mater Dei. 5 hits, 2 multi-hit games for him. And in fact, in league play, he's tied for the league lead in hits with Mikey Romero. Both of them come into tonight's action with 10. As he's got an RBI opportunity. He watches a breaking ball in there for a strike, and the count's 0-1. Curiel at third, Romero at second. Over at first is Casey Borba. Still nobody out, and a runner already across here for Orange Lutheran. For Proust, it's been the walks that have cost him so far in league play. As we mentioned, he's got 6 in 5 2/3 innings. Here comes the 0-1. Here's a ground ball to the right side. Riera picks it up. The throw home is over the outstretched glove of the catcher, and that's going to allow a second run to score as Romero comes flying through from second. Lancers lead 3-0. That'll be an error on the first baseman, Riera, and that'll put runners at first and third here for Gabe Miranda. Riera picks it up. The throw home is over the outstretched glove of the catcher, and that's going to allow a second run to score as Romero comes flying through from second. Lancers lead 3-0. That'll be an error on the first baseman, Riera, and that'll put runners at first and third here for Gabe out. Bowen hits it hard. Riera had the right move there. Coming home to get the force out at the plate. Throw just got away from him a bit, and now Proust still has some work to do here. 3 runs across, only 1 of them earned now here in the inning. Here comes the first pitch on Miranda. Check swing, but he went around on a pitch that was a bit low in the zone, and the count's 0-1. Miranda's been known as a pull hitter, but lately he's been finding ways to put the ball in the opposite field. He had the double to left center to score Mikey Romero in the 3rd inning of Friday's game. That was the only run for Orange Lutheran. Open stance for the left-hander as he faces an 0-1 count. Here comes the pitch, and that one misses low and inside. The count's 1 ball and 1 strike. Borba at third. Over at first is Bowen. Braves have a pitcher warming up in the bullpen here. Miranda 5 hits and 23 at-bats here in league play. Double in each of his last 2 games. After he went through a bit of a slump before that. Could have been the turnaround that he needs as Proust looks over at third, now over his shoulder at first. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the offering, and that one skips through the legs of the catcher. Borba thought about it, but he'll go back to third. However, Bowen gets to second, and that puts 2 in scoring position here for Orange Lutheran, as Miranda now has a real good RBI opportunity here. Tagium and Sergio Gonzalez will head out and have a chat here with Proust. 3 runs on just 2 hits here for Orange Lutheran. The big blow, the throwing error that allowed 2 runs to score with the bases loaded. Lights on here at Hart Park. The last little bits of daylight hanging on just beyond the right field fence. Again, if you're listening to tonight's game on Mixler.com, we invite you to head to YouTube and search the Coach's Radar to watch tonight's action with the call of the game as well. If you're in a position to watch tonight's action, again, YouTube, and then search the Coach's Radar. Here comes the pitch, and that one's in there for a strike. A breaking ball on the inside edge, and the count's 2-2. 3-0 Orange Lutheran. If you're just joining us, Ben Ryland here in the bottom of the first walked to lead off the inning. Curiel got him to second on a base hit, and then Romero walked to load the bases. Casey Borba hit a ground ball to left for a base hit to score 1 run, and then Carson Bowen hit a ground ball to Riera at first, but his throw to home was high, and that allowed 2 runs to score. Here comes the 2-2 on Miranda. This one chopped off the front foot, and it goes foul. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Had a chance to talk with Gabe Miranda after the game on Friday. Said, yeah, it just seemed like our energy levels went down as the game went along. Obviously, the team disappointed in missing an opportunity to sweep Mater Dei. They've come out ready to go here tonight. Infield drawn in here for St. John Bosco with runners at second and third. Proust still looking for his first out. Miranda, the sixth man to the plate here for Orange Lutheran. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch, and this one is swung on and missed. A breaking ball that started up and away and came back in. So big strikeout there for Proust as Miranda's retired for out number 1, and with 1 out, runners at second and third, it'll be Sawyer Vortman due up next.
Right fielder, number 3, Sawyer.
First start in right field for Vortman here tonight. He takes over for Brian Martinez. Vortman on Friday did not get a start, but I believe he had a base hit coming into pinch hit. As Proust will deal with him here. First pitch, fastball in there for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Infield still drawn in here for St. John Bosco. Vortman in league play, it's been a bit of a struggle as well. He's a bit under 200, 3 hits and 17 at-bats after he got off to a good start in non-league play this year. Right-hander, even stance. This one poked to the right. That's foul down the right field line, and the count goes to 0-2. On the season, he's batting .308, 8 of 26. Would really love to put the ball in play here and allow Borba the chance to come home. Just needs to lift something into the outfield. 3-0 Orange Lutheran, 1 out. 0-2 count here on Vortman. Bowen with a big lead over at second. Here's the pitch. It's a bit outside, and the count's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Other 2 games tonight, all night games in the Trinity League this evening. Servite down in San Juan Capistrano to take on Jay Serra. And Santa Margarita in Santa Ana to face the Mater Dei Monarchs. Jay Serra and Mater Dei had the leads early on in those 2 games. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch, and this one a ground ball to the left. Picked up and bobbled there by Aiden Alexander. That'll keep the that'll allow the run to score. Going to second base is Vortman, and coming home is Bowen. So another 2 runs come around to score, and another error by St. John Bosco, and it's now 5-0 in favor. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch, and this one a ground ball to the left. Picked up and bobbled there by Aiden Alexander. That'll keep the that'll allow the run to score. Going to second base is Vortman, and coming home is Bowen. So another 2 runs come around to score, and another error by St. John Bosco, and it's now around first and head to second base. And on that error, a second run comes home to score, and Bowen, who was aware thanks to the help of Coach R.J. Farrell at third base, and the Lancers have blown this thing open early, 5-0, with 4 of those runs scoring on 2 errors by the Braves. Now it's Chase Cummings with Vortman over at second. As Proust looks back over there and fires to the plate. This one low, the count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. Oliver Santos has had to sit through all of this, and have to wonder if that's him down there trying to warm up again before we head into the top of the second inning. Still only 1 out. 8th man to the plate here for Orange Lutheran. Here comes the 1-0. That one misses low and away. 2 balls and no strikes. Hard to blame Proust here. Again, he's gotten a couple of ground balls that should have led to a couple of outs. 1 throwing error and then a fielding error, followed by a throwing error. 2 balls, no strikes. Here's the pitch. This one foul tipped into the mitt there of Tagium. The count's 2 balls and 1 strike. Chase Cummings in the 8th spot again. He reached base in all 3 of his plate appearances on Friday. He ended up going 1 for 1 with a walk, a hit by pitch, and a single. Didn't factor into the scoring, however. Right-hander actually leads the team in hitting this year to this point with .357 batting average. Watches that one stay upstairs, and he's ahead now 3 balls and 1 strike. For the Braves, when they come up in the top of the second, Aiden Alexander will lead things off. Again, the Braves actually sent 6 men to the plate in the top of the first. They too had the bases loaded, but with 2 outs, Caleb Molanes flew out to right to end the threat. 3 balls, 1 strike. Proust will fire back to second. Vortman slides back in safely. And again, these 5 runs on just 2 hits for Orange Lutheran here in the frame. Derek Curiel and Casey Borba with singles. Before the game for Don Barbara, the head coach of St. John Bosco. In terms of the keys against Orange Lutheran, as this pitch comes in, this one a line drive off the glove. It bounces of Aiden Alexander. They'll stop Vortman at third, and Cummings will be safe at first as the inning continues. That'll be a base hit. Line drive just bounces off the glove of Alexander at third. And that'll bring up Jacob Parita, and we'll see if this will do it here for Proust as Don Barber is making his walk out to the mound. Hard luck here in the bottom of the first. He will take the baseball here from Proust, who gets through 1/3 of an inning, gives up 5 runs, only 1 of them earned on 3 hits. The one couple of errors, big ones, made by the Braves infield, and that causes Proust to have an early exit in this one here. Is again, he goes 1/3 of an inning, 5 runs, 1 of them earned on 3 hits, 1 strikeout, and 2 walks. As he heads back to the dugout, we'll take a quick break. We'll tell you about the new pitcher when we come back. It's 5-0 Orange Lutheran. We're in the bottom of the first, still 1 out, and the 9th man coming to bat in just a moment in Jacob Parita. This is Lancers Baseball on CA Sports Zone and the Coach's Radar. Welcome back to Hart Park. We're still in the bottom of the first with 1 out. Orange Lutheran with 5 runs across the plate on 3 hits. 4 of them have scored on 2 big infield errors by St. John Bosco. And that spells an early end for Dylan Proust as they turn to Jace Paderes here, who comes out of the bullpen having to try to get 2 outs just to get out of the first inning here. His first batter will be Jacob Parita, who makes his first start for the Lancers this season. As again, Orange Lutheran leads 5-0.
Designated hitter number 13.
Other games going on tonight. Santa Margarita and Mater Dei are in a 1-1 tie in Santa Ana. That game currently in the top of the 4th. A much higher scoring affair down south at San Juan Capistrano as Jay Serra has opened up a 9-2 lead over Servite, and they just got out of a bases-loaded jam in the top of the 4th as they head to the bottom of the 4th. So Jay Serra looking to get back into the league race here as they've won 2 in a row, looking to make it 3 here in game number 1 against Servite. Jacob Parita, the left-hander, will watch a first pitch fastball hit the outside edge for a strike. It's 0-1. Over at first base is Chase Cummings. At third base is Sawyer Vortman. Again, that 1 earned run here in the inning came in on a bases-loaded single by Casey Borba. 2 runs then came across on a throwing error by Riera at first, trying to throw to home. And the second one came in on a fielding error by Aiden Alexander as the runner goes from first to second, no throw, as that breaking ball's in there for a strike, and the count goes to 0-2. So Cummings gets into second base. Vortman remains over at third, and now 2 in scoring position here with 1 out. Parita's had 2 plate appearances this year. And the senior is 2 for 2 with a run scored and 2 runs batted in. Listed as a catcher, about 5'10", 180. Batting in the 9th spot here is the designated hitter. Ben Ryland, who started off the inning with a walk, is on deck. Infield drawn in once again here for St. John Bosco. Paderas, we saw him in relief in Game 3 last year. Pitched pretty well for St. John Bosco. It's the right-hander. Exhales, kicks and deals. Fastball just misses a bit low and away. It's 1-2. Overall this year for Paderas, he's 1-0 with a 1.11 ERA. In 6 1/3 innings, he's allowed 1 earned run on 6 hits, struck out 10, and has walked 4. So a good start for Paderas, a 6'3" right-handed pitcher. Trying to get out of a jam here. Here comes the pitch. Ground ball to the left. That gets through. 1 run comes home. They're going to stop Cummings at third. Vortman will score, and Parita's got a base hit here in the bottom of the 1st. So back-to-back singles by Vortman and Parita. And back to the top of the order we go with Ben Ryland. So 9 men to the plate. 8 of them have reached safely. 1 run comes home. They're going to stop Cummings at third. Vortman will score, and Parita's got a base hit here in the bottom of the 1st. Santos is back up in the bullpen trying to stay loose here for Orange Lutheran. They're coming up on 45 minutes here, and we're still in the bottom of the 1st. Dara's waiting for his sign. Ryland, I believe, walked on 5 pitches to open up the frame, and he will step out and take time. Runners on the corners. Back-to-back hits from Cummings and Parita have kept the inning going. First pitch, here's a ground ball to the right. Bounces off of Riera and into shallow right field. Cummings will come home to score. And stopping at second base is Parita. Make it 7-0 Orange Lutheran. That'll be a second error on Riera. Tough inning for him here so far. And Derek Curiel will make his way to the plate.
Center fielder number 4, Derek Curiel.
Curiel singled to the right side his first time up. It was the first Lancer hit of the inning. Paderas looks back at second base and will fire to the plate. Check swing, but it's in there anyway. It's 0-1. Those last 2 runs that came around to score will also be charged to Dylan Proust, whose line is now done. 1/3 of an inning, he allowed 7 runs. Still believe only 1 of them was earned. Curiel moves forward in the batter's box, now takes a step backwards toward the catcher. Parita at second. At first is Ryland. Here comes the pitch, and that one's a slider that's low and in. It's 1-1. And Curiel's goal this year was a 400 batting average in league play. Our Curiel tracker has him at 276 in league play through 3 weeks. But a base hit, he's off to a good start so far here in this series. Paderas will fire to second to check on Parita, who's back in safely. Again, we are the second time through the order here for Orange Lutheran, still in the bottom of the 1st. Again for the Braves, Aiden Alexander, Adam Kramer, Caleb Brandon due up in the 2nd inning. Here's a good pitch on the outside edge. It's 1-2 here on the left-handed Derek Curiel. 6'2", going to LSU in a few years. Extremely talented sophomore here for Orange Lutheran. For the first time since the opener this season, he is not in the leadoff spot in the lineup. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Paderas looks back at second base. Fires to the plate. Breaking ball misses a bit low and inside. Curiel thought about it but did not go around. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, Proust faced 8 batters. Paderas has faced 2. Working on his third here. The last 2 have reached on a base hit and an error. Again, this series here at Hart Park tonight, here at Hart Park tomorrow night, and at Cal State Long Beach, Blair Field on Thursday to close things out. A true 3-game series with 3 games in 3 consecutive nights for these two. So again, they will then turn their attention to tournaments next week. Paderas, the right-hander, looks back at second. 2 balls and 2 strikes here on Curiel, and this one up the middle. Diving stop, no, it gets through. Rounding third and coming home is Parita. The throw to the plate bounces away from Tagiam, and both runners will advance to second and third. The troubles continue here for St. John Bosco. It's now 8-0, and still just 1 out as Curiel's now 2 for 2 on the night. So Parita comes home to score. Ryland stops at second. Or pardon me, Ryland's now at third. Curiel's at second. And back to Mikey Romero we go. He walked and scored earlier in the frame. That'll be the first run charged to Paderas tonight. So the right-hander gets ready to go. Here's the pitch upstairs. It's 1-0. Boy, just a combination of walks, hits, and errors. This game is blown wide open early on here at Hart Park. Paderas exhales, fires to the plate. Here's a line drive, hit sharply out to right. Catch made out there by Kramer. Both runners will stay at second and third. That ball was hard hit off the bat. It was rifled out to right, but stayed up long enough for Kramer to make the catch. He didn't have to move too far to the line to make it, and that'll be the second out of the inning. So Casey Borba will be up next. Runners remain at second and third. Borba singled home a run earlier in the inning with the bases loaded. See what he does here. Paderas getting the sign here from Tagiam. Borba steps in. Opens up the stance a little bit here for his second plate appearance. First pitch, breaking ball. This one lifted out to right. Coming in for it is Kramer, and he will make the catch. And that will end it for Orange Lutheran here in the bottom of the first. But the Lancers put up 8 runs on 5 hits. 3 errors committed by St. John Bosco, and 2 runners left on base. The Lancers send 13 men to the plate in that frame, and they lead it comfortably here 8-0 as we head to the top of the second inning here at Hart Park. This is Lancers baseball here on CA Sports Zone and the Coach's Radar.
And everyone's ballpark favorite, hot dogs. They have it all.
Well, certainly not the start St. John Bosco was hoping for tonight. The Lancers lead 8-0 as we head to the top of the second inning here at Hart Park. As the Way back into it. Aiden Alexander will lead things off. Adam Kramer and Caleb Brandon do up in this inning as well. And if anybody gets on base, back to the top of the order we go with Sergio Gonzalez. Nathan Percy providing the audio. John Legg providing the video for you here tonight. Happy to have you alongside us on a cool Tuesday evening here in Orange, California. The first of a 3-game set here between Orange Lutheran and St. John Bosco. These two teams came in on top of the Trinity League standings. Orange Lutheran at 7-2, St. John Bosco at 4-2, and third. The tiebreaker, Jay Serra at 3-6 coming into this week's action, and Mater Dei rounding it out at 1-5. Again, the other two games which are taking place currently in San Juan Capistrano, it's Jay Serra with a 9-2 lead over Servite in the top of the 5th inning. And out in Santa Ana, it's a 1-1 tie between Mater Dei and the Eagles of Santa Margarita as they continue to do battle not too far from us here tonight. Aiden Alexander making his way to the plate. Oliver Santos, it'll be interesting to see how he goes after sitting for a long period of time and going over to warm up in the bullpen twice during that bottom of the first inning. Sometimes a long layoff can be tough for a starting pitcher. See what he comes out with here against Alexander. First pitch lifted into left field. Ben Ryland will track it into left center. Towards his left, he'll make the catch for out number 1. So 1 pitch and 1 out here in the top of the second, and Kramer will be the next man up here for the Braves. St. John Bosco did load the bases in the top of the first inning on 3 walks issued by Santos. But Milanes flew out to right to end the threat there as the first pitch is in there for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Kramer is 5'10", 185. 0 for 2 in his Trinity League season through 2 weeks. With a run scored, he watches that one upstairs, and the count evens out 1 ball and 1 strike. Santos kicks and deals, 1-1. That one just a hair low and outside. It's 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. That one's inside. It's 3-1. This Braves team offensively averaging just over 6 runs a ball game. As this pitch comes in, that one's outside. A 1-out walk here to Adam Kramer. 4th walk issued here for Oliver Santos, and he's not quite 1 round through the lineup. So 4 outs and 4 walks for Santos, and he'll face off against Caleb Brandon, a left-hander playing center field. Brandon's got good size here. He's 6 even, 175. Even stance at the plate for the left-hander. Kramer over at first. Here comes the first offering, and that one just misses inside. It's 1-0. So Santos starting to struggle out of the gate here in the top of the second inning. He looks over at first and fires to the plate. This one a ground ball to first. Miranda will fire to second for 1. Oh, Romero took his eye off it early. It trickles into left center field, and Kramer heads to third. Heading to second base is Brandon, and he gets in just ahead of the tag. As the Braves now have runners at second and third after the error there by Romero. And that will bring up Sergio Gonzalez. Braves now have an opportunity after the first error of the ball game committed by the Lancers.
Shortstop, number 1. Sergio Gonzalez.
So not quite the game for clean defense just yet. Romero was already thinking about the return throw to first when he tried to make that catch on Miranda's throw over to second. So now it's Kramer at third. At second base is Brandon. And Sergio Gonzalez, who walked back in the first, back up once again. He takes the first pitch curveball upstairs, and the count's 1-0. Sergio Gonzalez on the season, batting over 300, even stance at the plate, and he'll call for time as Santos gets set once again on the mound. Here comes the pitch, well outside there from Santos, and the count goes to 2-0. Uncharacteristic performance so far tonight. He had issued 6 walks in 25 1/3 innings of work coming into the ball game tonight. He's already allowed 4 walks here this evening. His fastball's letter high for a strike. It's 2-1. Santos committed to Duke University, the Blue Devils basketball team, back in the Final Four in Coach Krzyzewski's final year. They will play North Carolina in the Final Four. 2-1, misses low. 3 balls and 1 strike. Again, without that error at short, the Lancers could be out of the inning already here. Instead, there's runners at second and third with 1 out and a 3-1 count on the Braves leadoff hitter. Here comes the pitch, and again, that one's up and away. Ball 4. So Gonzalez will walk down to first. The bases are loaded once again here for the Braves, and now it'll be Hunter Friedberg due up next.
The left fielder, number 15, Hunter Friedberg.
Friedberg bounced out to second his first time up. It was a productive out as it got the runner to second base in Gonzalez. Oddly enough, he had been trying to bunt the runner over the previous 2 pitches, and he ends up doing it anyway on the ground out. Instead of the sacrifice, though, he's now 0 for 1. Bases loaded. Here's the first pitch. Breaking ball dips low. Counts 1 ball and no strikes. Nobody warming up in the Lancer bullpen here. They're relying on Santos to try to get him out of the second inning. He's been given a massive 8-0 lead through 1. Here comes the pitch, and this one fouled off straight back. Count goes to 1-1. Hunter Friedberg in league play this year, a .375 average. He's got 6 base hits. That leads the team. 4 runs scored, an RBI. He's got 1 extra base hit over the last 2 weeks. It was a double. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Nice curveball there as it dips into the strike zone. The count goes to 1-2. Started inside, came back over the plate. Trying to find that second gear here is Oliver Santos. He has walked the bases loaded. 2 walks and an error have them full here as that fastball misses outside to the left-hander. The count's 2-2. Every time Friedberg watches one go by, he almost jolts his view back towards the Braves dugout. Left-hander has an open stance here. Prime opportunity to get the Braves on the board. Bases loaded, 1 out. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and a swing and a miss on a breaking ball. And a big strikeout there from Santos as Friedberg is retired for out number 2.
Catcher.
Bases remain loaded here as that'll make way for Dylan Tagium. Tagium 0 for 1. He flew out to left, got a good piece of it, but Ryland was there to make the catch. And that was with a runner at second base. Now he's got the bases loaded. As Santos fires, breaking ball, misses a bit low. Counts 1 ball, no strikes. Kramer at third. At second is Brandon. Over at first is Gonzalez. Big miscue by the Lancers. Instead of an inning-ending double play, allowed runners at second and third. 1 ball, no strikes. Here's the pitch, and this one is fouled off to the left. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Tagium in 6 league games, a .222 average, 4 hits and 18 at-bats. 2 runs scored and 5 runs batted in. Second-year starting catcher here for the Braves, ready for the 1-1. Here it comes. Fastball, or pardon me, that's a changeup. That one misses a bit outside. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Gap in the infield on the right-hand side as Miranda is close to the first base bag. Borba close to the third base bag. Over on the left side as well. The Lancer outfield playing straight up. 2-1. Popped up. This will get out of play to the right. Count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Fastball there from Santos. Again, the Braves just trying to get something here in this second inning. They've had the bases loaded in each of the first 2 innings of the ball game so far. They just watched as the Lancers put up 8 runs in the bottom of the first. Tagium shortens up the stance. Here comes the pitch. This one a ground ball to third. Borba picks it up, will throw to second, and that will be in time to get Gonzalez and get the Lancers out of the inning. So a fielder's choice from Dylan Tagium ends the threat, and the Braves come away empty-handed. No runs, no hits, 1 error. And again, the bases left loaded. We are through 1.5 here at Hart Park. It's an 8-0 Orange Lutheran lead over St. John Bosco. This is Lancers Baseball on CA Sports Zone and the Coach's Radar. Well, Lancer fans, keep competing with McDavid, a proud sponsor of OLU Baseball. McDavid specializes in sports medicine, protective gear, and recovery items. Are you in need of ankle braces, knee supports, compression, and more? Then visit McDavidUSA.com and use promotion code OLU15 and receive 15% off your purchase. Once again, that's McDavidUSA.com and use promotion code OLU15 and receive 15% off your purchase. And Lancer fans, established in 2002, veteran-owned and operated Innovative Career Resources and Staffing is one of Orange County's premier recruiting and staffing firms and a sponsor of OLU Baseball. If you're looking for great people for your company or looking to make a career move, contact Innovative Career Resources and Staffing at 714-508-8620. That's 714-508-8620. Cold night here in Orange as the Lancers had heated up in that first inning. 8 runs scored on 5 hits against the Braves, though they did commit 3 crucial errors that helped the Lancers put up some of those runs. Orange Lutheran will start this inning with Carson Bowen, Gabe Miranda, and Sawyer Vortman. If anybody gets on base, Chase Cummings would be due up fourth. Again, 2 of those errors allowed 4 runs to score. And the third error allowed the inning to continue. I believe it also allowed a 5th run to score. So of those 8 runs, 5 of them scoring on Braves miscues as the defense tries to right itself here in the second inning. Carson Bowen to lead things off. He reached on an error in the first. It was a throwing error by Riera at first base, who tried to get the runner coming home with the bases loaded, but his throw sailed past the catcher, Dylan Tagium. And 2 came across for the Lancers off of that ground ball, as Bowen now faces off against Paderes. First pitch in there for a strike at the letter. The count's 0-1. Again, for Bowen, league play has been pretty kind to him so far this year. 10 hits through 9 games. He and Mikey Romero both with 10 hits through the first 9 games of league play. .345 average in the Trinity League. And overall, he's seen his average up to .317 this season. No balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch, and a breaking ball that dips low. The count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. This part of the lineup 0 for 3 with 2 runs scored. Both Bowen and Vortman reached on errors. And Gabe Miranda struck out back in the first. Already the 14th man to the plate here for the Lancers. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch, low and away. Nice pick there by Tagium as it hits the dirt. The count goes to 2-1. Well, again, in last year's first game of the series, Orange Lutheran started off strong and just kept their foot on the pedal. 23-0 was the final. That game was played at St. John Bosco. And again, just a tough year for the Braves last year, who took their lumps and came back stronger for it this year. Doesn't show yet here against the Lancers as that pitch misses low and away. The count goes to 3-1. For Orange Lutheran, 8 runs in the inning, the most they've scored in any inning this year. And already they've eclipsed their run total for more than half of their games this year. Here comes the 3-1, and that one's in there for a strike. It's 3-2. The most runs the Lancers have scored in a game this season would be 12. They did that against Servite in Game 1. Also did that against Ukaipa in the Prep Baseball Report Invitational Championship game here at Hart Park. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch from Paderas. This one lifted high, but this will get out of play. Foul to the left. Not by much, as Friedberg was chasing it down. Count remains full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Fought that one off the inside part of the plate. Bowen has had a few of those where he's really put some power into those swings, but he's gotten ahead of quite a few of them as they've been launched foul just beyond John Legg, who's above the Orange Lutheran dugout down the third base line. Ready to go for the payoff once again. 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out here in the inning. This one launched into right center field. Chasing it down is the center fielder, and he will make the catch. Caleb Brandon showing the range and getting out there to deep right center as Bowen is retired for out number 1. Bowen made really good contact with that, just hit it to one of the deeper parts of the park, and Caleb Brandon made a nice running catch. That'll bring up Gabe Miranda with nobody on and 1 out. Still, Bowen forced Paderas to throw quite a few pitches in that at-bat, 7 total, as he now deals with the left-hander Miranda. 0 for 1. Here comes the first pitch. Swing and a miss, and the count goes to 0-1. It was a strikeout for Miranda on a breaking ball that was up in the zone. Miranda working with nobody on here in the bottom of the second. Open stance, the TCU signee. Awaits the 0-1 here from Paderas. Swung on and missed, and foul tipped into the mid-Atagian behind the plate, and Miranda's down 0-2. Jace Paderas, uncommitted in his senior season, but again has been pretty good so far for the Braves here his senior year. Logged some crucial innings out of the bullpen last year for St. John Bosco as well, and likely will be a spot starter next week in the 4-game National Classic tournament. That tournament hosted by El Dorado High School out of Placentia. The 0-2 misses outside, and Miranda stays alive, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Vortman on deck, as we mentioned. If anybody gets on base, Chase Cummings. 1 out here in the bottom of the second, an 8-0 Orange Lutheran lead over St. John Bosco. Gabe Miranda looking at a 1-ball, 2-strike count, looking for his first hit of the series. Here comes the pitch from Paderas. That one bounces away, and the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, for the Lancers, the last time they lost a Friday game, before the Mater Dei loss last week, that is, was against Jay Serra. They came back the following week and put up 26 runs on 30 hits in a 3-game series against Servite. Already with 8 runs here in this one, as this one's off the end of the bat foul, and the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. So perhaps the lesson, do not make the Lancers angry, as they have come out with a purpose and a vengeance so far here against St. John Bosco. Again, some miscues defensively have helped. Orange Lutheran putting up 5 runs in that inning. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Here's the pitch, and that one hits him. So he loses Miranda on a 2-2 count, a fastball that just went too far inside, and Miranda will head down to first. So now every Lancer in the lineup has made it on base here tonight. And with 1 out and 1 on, it'll be Sawyer Vortman due up next.
Sawyer Vortman.
Vortman reached on an error by Aiden Alexander. 0 for 1. He later came around to score in the first inning. Paderes looks over at first. And we'll start with a pitch to the plate. Breaking ball, check swing, but he went around. Count goes to 0-1. Again, Vortman, one of those guys who just kept grinding, kept moving forward, as he mentioned in his pregame interview a few weeks back, and has now earned his opportunity here in the starting lineup. He's been the designated hitter for some time, but now getting the start in right field, his second outfield position for the Lancers. We saw him start in left early in the year. Paderes looks over his shoulder at first and fires to the plate. Curveball lifted deep out towards left center. This will be it'll be Brandon tracking it down, cutting off Friedberg in left center to make the catch. Vortman retired for out number 2, and that'll bring up Chase Cummings.
Now batting for your Lancers, second baseman, number 5.
Couple fly ball outs that Brandon has been able to track down, one in left center, one in right center, and now with 2 outs and a runner at first, Chase Cummings, who was 1 for 1, hit a line drive that was off the glove of a leaping Alexander over at third base back in the first inning. Miranda, the runner, over at first. Here's the pitch. This one fouled off straight back, and that'll get out of play, 0-1. Well, Paderes going after the hitters a little bit more here in this second inning. His one miscue, that fastball that got away a little bit inside and hit Gabe Miranda, who's over at first base. For the Braves, they'll have the middle of the order due up in the top of the third inning. Jackson Sharman will lead things off. St. John Bosco, despite not having any runs across the board, has sent 6 men to the plate in each of the first and second innings. Miranda with a short lead over at first, 0-1 with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. The pitch to Cummings, and that curveball's in there for a called strike. It's 0-2. 6'1", uncommitted senior Chase Cummings playing second base. Was the hero on Wednesday night when the Lancers came back from being down 2-0 to win 3-2 here against Mater Dei. The second time that he has provided the game-winning RBI. First one was in walk-off fashion against Servite. 0-2. This one a line drive out to right. That'll drop in front of the right fielder, Kramer. It bounces off the leg, but he's able to keep it in front of him, and staying at second base is Miranda. So how about this? Cummings 2 for 2 so far tonight. He came in with the lead in terms of average, batting average that is, at .357, and he continues the hit parade here. And with 2 outs and runners at first and second, it'll be Jacob Parita, who singled a homer run in the first inning and later came around to score. Cummings has 6 hits in his last 4 games now, dating back to the opener against Mater Dei. Here comes the first pitch, and this one fouled straight back by Parita. The count's 0-1. In fact, with that hit, Cummings has a 7-game hit streak. Took me so long I had to go back through my scorebook pages to figure that out, as this one misses low and inside. The count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, we're here in the bottom of the second. 2 outs, runners at first and second. 8-0 the lead for Orange Lutheran. Jacob Parita at the plate with Miranda at second, Cummings at first. Paderes has his sign. 1 ball, 1 strike on the left-handed Parita. He'll throw back to second. Back in sliding is Miranda. Count remains 1-1. In fact, the last time Cummings went without a hit was against Jay Serra in game number 3 of that series. You'd have to go all the way back, as this pitch is in there for a called strike. The count's 0-2. You'd have to go all the way back to the 5th game of the season against Carroll to find the last time that Cummings had failed to make it to first base. Pretty good streak there for Chase Cummings, who continues to find ways to help offensively. Again, he's standing over there at first. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The count here on Jacob Parita. Paderes looks back at second base. 2 outs, here it comes. This one right back up the middle, gloved by Paderes. He'll trot over to first and underhand toss it to Riera for the final out of the inning. So Paderes faces off against 5 batters here in the bottom of the 2nd, and he gets out of the inning unscathed as the Lancers go down no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 left on base. We're through 2 here at Hart Park. Orange Lutheran with an 8-0 lead over St. John Bosco. This is Lancers Baseball on CA Sports Zone and the Coach's Radar.
Based on pledges received. Sharman.
8-0 the score. Orange Lutheran over St. John Bosco. As we head to the top of the 3rd, Jackson Sharman to lead things off as Oliver Santos fires the first pitch fastball upstairs. And the count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. Ready to go once again. A second fastball, but inside. Believe that was not called a strike, but the scoreboard says 1-1. Here's the pitch. That one misses low. I believe that's 3 balls and no strikes. It is. Home plate umpire confirms it. So Santos working quickly, but not hitting the zone. There's one in there for a strike, and the count goes to 3-1. It's been a little uncharacteristic for him tonight. Through 2 innings, he's allowed 5 walks, and that just barely hits the outside edge, and the count goes to 3-2 here on Sharman. Sharman walked back in the first inning. Here comes the payoff pitch, and they call that strike 3 on the inside edge, and after falling behind 3-0, Santos comes back to get Sharman for the first out here in the top of the 3rd. That's his first strikeout of the night. Pardon me, second strikeout of the night. And with 1 out, it'll be Nico Riera due up next. Santos is not wasting any time so far here in this 3rd inning, as those 6 pitches or just catch the ball and fire it right back to the plate. Nico Riera noticing that, trying to slow him down. He's ready to go once again. Fastball upstairs, and the count's 1 ball, no strikes. Riera also walked in the first inning, but he was stranded at first as the Braves stranded the bases. Santos just wants to get right into it, and the home plate umpire this time saying, hang on, wait, let him get in the batter's box. Here's the pitch, and this one fouled off. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Wonder if he's just throwing all fastballs here in this inning, up by 8, trying to get the offense back up. Again, the Braves sent 6 men to the plate in the first, 6 in the second, but they've got nothing to show for it so far. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball. Swung on and missed, and the count's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Those 6 base runners on 5 walks and an error so far tonight. The line scores: no runs on no hits, 3 errors for the Braves, 8 runs on 6 hits, 1 error for the Lancers. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch. Another curveball swung on and missed, and Riera goes down on strikes. Back-to-back strikeouts to open up the top of the 3rd for Santos. And with 2 outs and nobody on, it'll be Caleb Milanez due up next here for St. John Bosco.
14, Caleb Milanez.
This Braves team Again, a lot of familiar faces that we saw last year. Here comes the first pitch on Milanes. Breaking ball, that one misses outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Because of that experience that they got last year, they play with a little bit more looseness. This one popped up to the left. This should be a quick 1-2-3 frame. Borba settles under it and makes the catch, and that will retire the side. We'll talk about the Braves again in the top of the 4th. But they go down here, no runs on no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. We are through 2.5 here at Hart Park. It's 8-0 Orange Lutheran. This is Lancers Baseball on CA Sports Zone and the Coach's Radar. Well, baseball fans, are you ready for a front or backyard makeover? Premier Outdoor Builders can help you design and build a stunning front yard or backyard of your dreams. Trusted by Lancer families to handle their outdoor living needs, Premier Outdoor Builders can handle your next outdoor living project. From custom pools, patio covers, barbecues, fire features, hardscapes, and driveways, they will handle all your design and build needs. Find them on Instagram at Premier Outdoor Builders and mention this ad when you call to get a free 3D render. Instagram at Premier Outdoor Builders and mention this ad when you call to get a free 3D rendering of your next project and have your deposit waived. Ryland Curiel and Romero due up in this inning. Top of the order for the Lancers as Jace Paderas is back on the mound. He's thrown 1 2/3 innings of work. And I believe of the 8 runs, 1 of them has been charged to him. It's an unearned run, as he will go to work once again against the top of the order. This part of the order is 1 for 3 against Paderas tonight. Ryland reached on an error, Curiel singled, and Romero lined out to right. Overall, this part of the order is 2 for 4 with 2 singles, 2 walks.
Leading off for your Lancers, left fielder number 11.
Ryland has reached base twice tonight. 0 for 1, however. He walked back in the first, and he reached on an error his last time up in the second. Already up for the 3rd time here in the 3rd as the Lancers have 8 runs on 6 hits. Paderas holds the glove against the chest, dangles the right arm as he gets his sign from his catcher Dylan Tagium. First pitch on Ryland is in there for a called strike, and the count's 0-1. Ryland this season is batting .257 coming into the ball game tonight. 9 for 35, 5 runs scored, 4 runs batted in, but when they've needed a hit, he's generally come through. A couple of big hits in the Servite series come to mind. Here comes the 0-1. Another breaking ball in there for a called strike, and Ryland's behind 0-2. Curiel on deck. 2 sophomores to lead things off tonight here for the Lancers, followed by the senior Romero. Again, all 3 left-handers at the top of the order, as the Braves come out with right-handers to start. Proust got the start tonight, faced 8 batters, got 1 out. Ended up allowing 7 runs. Believe only 1 of those was earned as that pitch misses low and away. It's 1-2. Jace Paderas came on in relief, allowed the first 3 he faced to reach base before he got a couple of fly ball outs to right to get out of the inning. It was a cleaner, albeit a bit lengthy second inning, as this one a check swing upstairs, and the third base umpire says Ryland did not go around. The count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. 3 hits allowed to this point in 1 2/3 innings of work by Paderas. In the second inning, he allowed runners to first and second, but got a ground out by Parita, the first time that Parita's been retired all season. He's now 3 for 4 on the year. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch to Ryland. That one bounces. Tagium blocks it, and the count goes full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Just underway here in the bottom of the 3rd here at Hart Park. Orange Lutheran firmly in control of this one. We'll check the other 2 scores real quick as well. Still 1-1 in the bottom of the 6th between Santa Margarita and Mater Dei. That game being played at Mater Dei. Jay Serra has tacked on 1 more. They now lead Servite 10-2 in the bottom of the 6th inning. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch. This one lifted into right field. Coming in for it is Adam Kramer. He'll camp under it and make the catch for out number 1. So Ryland again forces Paderes deep into the count. But in the end, it's a fly ball to right. Pretty routine for Kramer. And with 1 out, nobody on, it's Derek Curiel due up next. Good start for him this week. He's 2 for 2, couple of base hits. A run scored and an RBI tonight. Curiel's first hit, a ground ball to the first base side. Second one, if memory serves correct, was a ground ball up the middle. Watches a breaking ball in there for a strike. Thought about it at first, but kept the bad head on the shoulder, 0-1. Again, new week, new start here for Curiel, and he's off to a good one. Saw his average overall after last week drop to 262 heading into the ball game tonight. Wide stance, bends the knees a bit. Still with the yellow batting gloves here as the 0-1 comes in, and that one hits the outside edge for a strike. 0-2. A little bit of arm side run on that fastball there from Paderes. Mikey Romero on deck, 1 out, nobody on here for the Lancers. And this is the first time tonight, if you're watching on video, that we've seen them wearing the black socks and the black undershirts with the black hats with these white uniforms. No balls, 2 strikes, upstairs, 1-2. Usually with these uniforms, they've got the red hats on, the red high socks, and the red cleats with the white stripes. Going for a different look here tonight. Of course, they've mixed things up in the lineup as well. Curiel batting out of the 2 spot tonight. Carson Bowen has been moved down to the number 5 spot. Here's the 1-2, check swing, it's low, and the count goes to 2-2. Again, Servites at Jay Serra tonight. The other 2 games in that series will be in Anaheim. So a bit of a schedule change there. Mater Dei hosting 2 out of 3 against Santa Margarita. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Paderes kicks and deals. This one blooped into left center field, actually more on a line, as that one will be caught there by the left fielder, Hunter Friedberg. Almost overran it, reached back and up to make that catch, but he secures it, and Curiel is retired for the first time tonight. So 2 outs, nobody on. Mikey Romero, the next man up.
35, Mikey Romero.
Romero so far tonight is 0 for 1. Walked and scored in the first. He lined out to right in the second inning, but that ball was hit hard, just right at Kramer, who was able to make the catch. It stayed up long enough to get out to him. Second plate appearance here against Jace Paderes tonight. First pitch in there for a called strike, outside edge. It's 0-1. If Mater Dei comes away with a victory over Santa Margarita, it could end up being a really good night for Orange Lutheran, as the 3 teams that are closest to them in the standings would all fall if the score here stays the way it is tonight. No balls, 1 strike. Here comes the pitch from Paderes. This one poked into left field, drifting down the line and into foul territory. And, just a little bit too far goes the shortstop, Sergio Gonzalez. Tried to dive for it. It actually ended up landing behind him. And the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. Friedberg also trying to chase that one down. Alexander letting the other 2 go, as he did not have a good angle at that. So Romero will have another chance, but he's in the hole. No balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs here against Jace Paderes. Casey Borba on deck, as again Santos is staying loose in the bullpen area for Orange Lutheran. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here comes the pitch, outside. Count goes to 1-2. Braves will have the bottom of the order due up in the top of the 4th inning. Aiden Alexander, the third baseman, to lead things off. 8-0. All 8 runs scored in the bottom of the first for Orange Lutheran. We've had 3 scoreless half innings since then. Paderas trying to make it 4. Right-hander pitching out of the stretch here. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And this one lifted deep out to right field. Going back forward is Kramer, but he will have room and he'll make the catch. And Romero is retired for out number 3. So 3 fly ball outs for Paderas here in the frame. And the Lancers go down in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. We're through 3 here at Hart Park, and it's 8-0 Orange Lutheran over St. John Bosco. This is Lancers Baseball on CA Sports Zone and the Coach's Radar.
At Hart Park, the home of your Lancers. Then game 3 of the series.
Top of the 4th inning we go here at Hart Park. 8-0 Orange Lutheran over St. John Bosco as Oliver Santos back out there for his 4th inning of work. He went 1-2-3 in the top of the 3rd for the first time tonight, and for the Braves, we'll have a pinch hitter to get things going as Davin Vasquez makes his way to the plate. The 6-foot junior will bat in place of Aiden Alexander. Adam Kramer will bat second, and Caleb Brandon will be due up in this inning as well. If anybody gets on, back to the top of the order we go with Gonzalez. First pitch to Vasquez is low and inside. The count's 1 ball, no strikes. Davin Vasquez. Here's the pitch, up and away. 2 balls and no strikes. He comes in batting .333 in limited action this season, 1 for 3 with a run scored. That pitch misses low and inside. And again, this fast pace here for Santos is not paying off for him to begin with. To begin the inning, I should say. 3-0. There's one in there for a strike. It's 3-1. Started this quick pace in inning number 3 and fell behind Sharman by a count of 3 balls, no strikes before coming back to strike him out. This one popped up into right field. Coming in for it is Vortman towards the line. He'll make the catch for out number 1. So Vasquez got a good hitter's count, but just got underneath of that pitch there from Santos as Vortman's able to put it away. And Santos has now retired the last 6 batters he's faced after an uncharacteristic start in the first 2 innings. First pitch here is popped up fouling out of play to the right by Kramer, and the count's 0-1. Six base runners for St. John Bosco, and 5 of them on walks, 1 of them on an error. Here comes the 0-1. In there for a called strike, it's 0-2. Kramer tonight walked back in the 2nd inning, was stranded at 3rd as the Braves for the 2nd consecutive time left the bases loaded. No balls, 2 strikes. Santos taking his time this time and time called by Kramer. Brandon on deck. Here comes the pitch, and this one misses low. It's 1-2. Kramer playing right field tonight. Comes in at 5'10", 185. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch to the right-hander. A curveball low and in. It's 2-2. Kramer came in looking for his first hit of the year, 0 for 2 on the season. 2 runs scored. Here comes the 2-2. Not going to get it there as that one's in there for a called strike. He goes down for out number 2. 7 straight retired now for Santos, including 4 strikeouts, and that'll bring up Caleb Brandon with 2 outs and nobody on. We're in the top of the 4th. 8-0 Orange Lutheran, all 8 runs in the bottom of the first. Lancers will have the middle of the order due up in the bottom of this inning. Brandon 0 for 1, reached on an error back in the second inning and was stranded at second base. First pitch, a breaking ball, buckles him. It's in there for a strike 0-1. Started inside and then came back over the inside edge as Santos gets ahead. Left-hander, even stance. I believe he's the only left-hander in the lineup tonight for St. John Bosco. This one slashed over towards left field. Ryland will head towards the line and make the catch for the final out of the inning. So another 1-2-3 frame for Santos here in the top of the 4th. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We are halfway through this one. Orange Lutheran 8 and St. John Bosco nothing. This is Lancers Baseball on CA Sports Zone and the Coach's Radar.
Visit them at 1205 East 1st Street in Santa Ana and mention OLU Baseball to receive a special Lancers.
Well, baseball fans need parts for your car. Why pay more? Shop Clark's first. Since 1976, Clark's stocks all the parts you need for your import, domestic, and European vehicles. Radiators, brake pads, starters and alternators, oxygen sensors, shocks and struts, and all the fuel injection parts, plus a whole lot more. Name brand parts at discount prices. Come in or shop online at clarksap.com. That's clarksap.com. And remember, at Clark's, we discount the discount. Again, Lancer fans, if you're looking for a summer high school level baseball program, join the Tustin Scorpions, whose focus is to help you get ready for your next high school season with 3 practices per week and weekend games. Join the Scorpion family. So we head to the bottom of the 4th. Borba, Bowen, and Miranda due up here against Jace Paderes, who is back on for another inning of work. Paderes has gone 2 2/3 innings so far tonight, and has allowed 1 run that was back in the first, but has held the Lancers scoreless in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th innings as Orange Lutheran maintains that 8-0 lead. So Paderes back on, Casey Borba. Take that back. Paderes still out there, but St. John Bosco starting to make changes defensively here.
Number 26, Michael.
Jeremy LaRosa inserted at first base. Vasquez remains in at 3rd. New left fielder as well. We'll try to relay that information over to you as well as soon as we get it.
For your Lancers, third baseman, number 16,
Casey Borba making his way to the plate so far tonight. He's 1 for 2. RBI base hit and a run scored back in the first inning. Last time up in the second, he flew out to right. He will lead things off here in the 4th. Paderes fires a first pitch that's fouled straight back by Borba. The count goes to 0-1. (6-1). Committed to the University of Texas. He'll be a Longhorn in a couple of seasons. Casey Borba. No balls, 1 strike. The right-hander awaits the offering here from Paderes. Just underway here in the bottom of the 4th. 8 runs on 6 hits with 1 error for the Lancers so far. Breaking ball, this one fouled straight back, and the count goes to 0-2. For the Braves, Michael Mulligan now in left field. And at second base is Alex Mendez. Jeremy LaRosa at first. Davin Vasquez now at 3rd. Everybody else remains the same. No balls, 2 strikes. Paderes ready to go out of the stretch. Fastball outside. And the count goes to 1-2. Textbook Ways pitch there. He's been doing that when he gets ahead 0-2. Borba will see another pitch in just a moment. Came in batting .316 on the year, 12 hits, 38 at-bats, 9 runs scored, and 9 runs batted in. Picked up his 10th in both of those categories earlier tonight. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Paderes fires to the plate, and that one misses low and inside. Borba thought about it, but didn't go around. He's even in the count 2-2. So again for the Braves, Tagium behind the plate, LaRosa at first, Mendez at second, Gonzalez at short, Vasquez at third, Mulligan in left, Brandon in center, and Kramer in right field as Don Barbara makes some changes here heading into the bottom of the fourth. Paderes kicks and deals. Fastball misses low after falling behind 0-2. Borba's worked it full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Bowen on deck, Miranda in the hole. Vortman would be due up fourth if anybody gets on base. Orange Lutheran has a right-hander warming up in the bullpen. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Payoff pitch on its way here from Paderes. This one lined foul and out of play to the right. Count remains full as that one bounces off the light fixture about halfway down the right field line. Try it again. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 7th pitch of this at-bat coming up. Looks like maybe J.D. Rodriguez, the pitcher, warming up in the bullpen for Orange Lutheran. Haven't seen the senior since the 3rd game of the Jay Serra series. If that's the case. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch, and this one is swung on and missed. Throw down to first just to be safe by Tagium, and Borba's retired for out number 1 here to start the bottom of the 4th. So 1 out, nobody on. Carson Bowen will be the next man up. Technically 0 for 2, but he reached on an error and later scored a run in the first. That error brought home 2 runs, as the Lancers at that point took a 3-0 lead. So Bowen, after collecting 5 hits against Mater Dei last week, still looking for his first one here this week. Multi-year Team USA member. Really put a charge into one, does so again. This one on a line out to deep right center, but Brandon right there to make the catch, and he has tracked down 2 deep fly balls by Bowen so far in this one. And that'll be the 2nd out. 2 outs, nobody on. Gabe Miranda due up next. So again, not without hitting the ball hard there for Bowen, but Brandon able to track him down. First one went a little bit deeper out to right center. This one more on a line. So he's making good contact, just has not been a bit unlucky in terms of finding gaps in the outfield. Here comes Miranda. First pitch from Paderes, and that one's outside. Oh, they call that outside corner. And the count's 0-1. Looked like maybe a favorable spot there from the home plate umpire. Strikeout and a hit by pitch for Miranda tonight. He's 0 for 1. 2 outs, nobody on. We're in the bottom of the 4th. 8-0 Orange Lutheran. Paderes kicks and deals. This one off the end of the bat towards the left side of the infield. Vasquez picks it up, throws to first, and it's a 1-2-3 frame for Paderes on the mound as the Lancers go down without a whimper. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We head to the top of the 5th. Orange Lutheran maintains an 8-0 lead over St. John Bosco. This is Lancers Baseball on CA Sports Zone and the Coach's Radar.
They serve all of Orange County and surrounding areas while offering a premium custom product in a variety of colors.
Top of the 5th inning we go here at Hart Park, and the Lancers make a call to the bullpen as J.D. Rodriguez makes his way to the hill here for Orange Lutheran. Oliver Santos goes 4 innings, allows no runs, allowed 6 base runners on 5 walks and an error. And the defense, as we mentioned, made 1 error behind him tonight. Was uncharacteristic in the first 2 innings, but found his form, it appeared, after walking the bases loaded in the second. He then retired the next 8 in a row, bringing us here into the top of the 5th. J.D. Rodriguez, this will be his first appearance on the mound since Game 3 of the Jay Serra series. Senior has struggled a bit out of the gate trying to turn things around. He's committed to Long Beach State University. He's uncommitted as he gets ready to go here. Rodriguez, to this point, in 2 appearances, has thrown 1 2/3 innings of work. He's allowed 1 earned run on 1 hit, has struck out 1, but has walked 4. The control has been a bit of an issue for him. See what he does here against the Braves. He'll face off against the top of the order. It's Sergio Gonzalez to lead things off. First pitch, upstairs, and the count goes to 1-0. Looked like maybe overthrew that fastball a little bit. Gonzalez so far tonight has walked twice. Hunter Friedberg and Dylan Tagiam do up in this inning as well. There's a good fastball in there for a strike on the inside edge. It's 1-1. As part of the order tonight, 0 for 4. 2 walks from Gonzalez. Friedberg and Tagiam are both 0 for 2. Here comes the 1-1. Upstairs, watch out, and the count goes to 2-1. Rodriguez. Looks like the home plate umpire is going to ask him to take off a bracelet on the left arm. Before he gets back to work, so that'll be a little bit of a break for us. Band removed, ready to go. 2 balls and 1 strike. Again, top of the 5th inning. First relief pitcher the Lancers have brought out tonight. That fastball's inside, make it 3 balls and 1 strike. Again, for Orange Lutheran, 8 runs on 5 hits in the first inning, 3 errors by the Braves. That's been really the only scoring tonight, as the 3-1 pitch misses up and away, and Rodriguez opens things up with a walk. Gonzalez has actually walked all 3 plate appearances so far tonight. So he finds himself on first again, and Michael Mulligan will step in here for the Braves. Tagiam still on deck. See if Jackson Sharman hits out of his spot in the order. Mulligan, first pitch, a slider, misses low and away, and he gets ahead 1 ball, no strikes. 6'3", 190-pound senior, listed as a right fielder and a right-handed pitcher. Stands straight up in the box. Slightly open stance. Overthrown fastball upstairs. It's 2-0. Orange Lutheran already has another arm up in the bullpen. It appears to be a left-hander just starting to get loose. St. John Bosco has a right-hander warming up in the bullpen as well for the bottom half of this inning, most likely. 2 balls, no strikes. Fastball in there for a called strike just above the knees inside, and the count's 2-1. Gonzalez getting his lead over there at first. 2 balls, 1 strike. Fastball low and away. It's 3-1. Mulligan 2 for 3 in limited action this year with a run scored and a run batted in. He's ahead of the count here. 3 balls, 1 strike. And that one hits the inside edge. He thought it was ball 4, 3-2. Again, Gonzalez getting a decent-sized lead over there at first. Here's the pitch, and this one swung on and missed. And Rodriguez comes back to get Mulligan after getting behind 3 balls and 1 strike for out number 1.
Catcher.
So that'll bring up Dylan Tagiam, 0 for 2. Fly ball out to left. He grounded into a fielder's choice to end the 2nd inning. Right-hander with the open stance. We'll get ready here against Rodriguez. First pitch. Here's a hard hit ground ball, and it's off of the glove of Romero, who tried to dive for it at short, and that'll be a base hit for the Braves, their first of the ball game. So that effectively ends the no-hitter for the Lancers, puts runners at first and second base with one out here for for a pinch hitter, Isaiah Rios.
Your attention, please. This change for St. John Bosco.
So with a right-hander on the mound now, they'll bring in a left-hander, Isaiah Rios. See if he can continue this inning for the Braves. Rios in his junior season, he's 6 foot even, 175. And on deck is Jeremy LaRosa, who took over defensively for Nico Riera. Runners at first and second here for the Braves. Here comes the first pitch. This one a line drive into right field. That's going to fall for a base hit. Rounding third and coming home to score is Gonzalez, and it's a double for Rios. It puts runners at second and third, and the Braves are on the board here in the top of the 5th inning. So that's an RBI double for Isaiah Rios. At third is Dylan Tagiam, and coming around to score, Sergio Gonzalez. So they've gotten to Rodriguez here. One out, runners at second and third now for Jeremy LaRosa. Rodriguez out of the stretch, fires to the plate. Slider in there for a called strike on the outside edge. It's 0-1. Well, again, this Braves team, with the experience they've gained, head coach Don Barber has said they're a team that really polices themselves during practice. If something's not right, they're quick to call out and fix it as this slider hits the outside edge on Mulligan again, on LaRosa again, and the count goes to 0-2. But it's a team that plays a little bit looser than they did last year. They have more fun. There's a lot more leadership, a lot more energy in this group. As this fastball is blocked by Tejeda behind the plate, and the count goes to 1-2 strikes. Again, their goal for this week, however, they couldn't afford to make mistakes, and they had to minimize what Orange Lutheran does offensively and then capitalize when they can. 1-2 strikes. Slider called strike 3 at the letters, and that'll be the second out of the inning as Rodriguez picks up strikeout number 2. LaRosa down on strikes, and that will bring up Alex Mendez, who took over for Caleb Milanes defensively in the top half of this inning. Bottom half of the 4th, I should say. So after allowing the RBI double to Isaiah Rios to right center, Rodriguez bounces back with a strikeout. This one a ground ball up the middle, picked up by Cummings. Will throw on the run, and that will get the Lancers out of the frame. So Orange Lutheran gives up 1 run on 2 hits. No errors and 2 left on base here in the top of the 5th. But the damage limited there by J.D. Rodriguez on the mound. And as we head to the bottom of the inning, Orange Lutheran leads 8-1 over St. John Bosco here in Game 1 of this 3-game set. Back here with the bottom of the 5th in just a moment. This is Lancers Baseball on CA Sports Zone and the Coach's Radar. Well, baseball fans, are you looking for a reliable, cost-effective commercial cleaning company in Orange County? Then contact Jet Clean Janitorial at jetcleaninc.com to handle all your commercial cleaning needs. Jet Clean, the finest and the fastest, guaranteed. And Lancer fans, Brake and Tire Depot is a Lancer family-owned small business serving Orange County for 31 years and proud. Santa Ana for a special Lancer discount. Once again, that's Brake and Tire Depot. Visit them at 1205 East 1st Street in Santa Ana for a special Lancer discount. Quick apology to those who are with us on Mixlr. It appears that our internet connection went out for just a couple of moments there, but the Lancers got out of the top of the 5th inning on a ground ball to second base by Alex Mendez to end the threat, as the Braves in that top of the 5th again went 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 runners left. We head to the bottom of the 5th here at Hart Park as Sawyer Vortman will lead things off. And we have a new pitcher on the mound here for St. John Bosco. Brandon Smith, a 6'2 senior, will take to the hill here for the Braves. third pitcher into the ball game here for St. John Bosco. After Jace Paderes went 3 2/3 innings of work, allowed 1 run on 2 hits. And effectively kept the Lancers off the scoreboard after they scored 8 in that first inning. So a good night for Jace Paderes. Now it'll be Brandon Smith, as Sawyer Vortman will lead things off. Let's take a look at Smith's numbers heading into this appearance.
Number 19, Brandon Smith.
He has made 1 appearance on the mound so far this season. In 1/3 of an inning, he had a rough go. It gave up 4 earned runs on 2 hits and 2 walks.
Leading off for your Lancers, right fielder.
See what he can do here against the Lancers as Vortman gets set. Cummings and Parita due up in this inning as well, though I suspect we will see some pinch hitters here for Orange Lutheran being up 8-1. It looks like Simeon Gillian is on the mound, or pardon me, is on deck here for the Lancers. He will hit in place of Cummings, batting second in the order. So Brandon Smith ready to go. First pitch here on Vortman. That one's a bit low and away to the right-hander, and the count's 1 ball and no strikes. 8 runs in the first for the Lancers, 1 run in the top of the 5th for St. John Bosco, just starting the bottom of the 5th now. Vortman so far tonight is 0 for 2. Reached on an error that scored 2 runs, and he's also scored a run so far. That was back in the first. Since then, he flew out to center as he watches another one low and away from Smith, and the count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. Just shy of the 2-hour mark here in Orange, California, bottom of the 5th. Smith kicks and deals, and this one a ground ball towards second base. Picked up there by Mendez. Will throw over to first, and that one's handled at the first base bag by Jeremy LaRosa for out number 1. So Vortman gets ahead of the count 2-0, but bounces out to second base, and with 1 out, nobody on, Simeon Gillian will make his first appearance at the plate here for the Lancers this season. In his junior season listed as in his senior season listed as an outfielder.
This change for your Lancers, now batting.
Parita still on deck here for the Lancers, so Gillian, a pinch hitter here for Chase Cummings. Right-hander with an open stance at the plate, hops up on the front leg. First pitch here from Brandon Smith. That one skips away from the catcher, tagging him, and the count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. Check the other 2 games once again. Still 10-2. It looks like the game is over down in San Juan Capistrano. Jay Serra takes that one. Santa Margarita and Mater Dei are in extras, top of the 8th, with a runner at second base for the Eagles. So, Jay Serra has taken care of Servite tonight. Here comes the 1-0. That one again bounces. New catcher in the ball game for St. John Bosco is Max Sinasak. And the count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. See what other changes, if any, have been made. Oops, got the wrong one up. Elias Archie now playing center for the Braves. 2 balls, no strikes. Here comes the pitch. That one misses low and away as well. And that'll elicit a visit from the catcher, Max Sinasak. Junior 6 even, 185, heading out to chat with his 6'2 pitcher, Brandon Smith. Gillian ahead of the count, 3 balls, no strikes. Again, Parita on deck, then back to the top of the order we go. 8-1 Orange Lutheran, bottom of the 5th inning. These 2 teams will meet right back here tomorrow night at 7 p.m. for Game 2. Game 3, as we mentioned, at Blair Field in Long Beach. Here comes the 3-0. In there for a called strike. It's 3-1. Still a good hitters count here for Gillian. Kind of has that Casey Borba approach at the plate where he kind of leans back before he gets into his stance. Here comes the pitch, and this one misses inside. Gillian heads down to first. It's a 1-out walk here for Orange Lutheran. And with a runner at first and 1 out, it'll be Jacob Parita due up next. He is 1 for 2 so far today.
Now batting for your Lancers, Designated hitter,
Single back in the first that scored a run. He grounded out to the pitcher his second time up. Parita's 3 for 4 on the year. Getting his first start here tonight. This will be his third plate appearance. Again, a matchup that Orange Lutheran has generally dominated, and again, they came out early with the pressure in the first inning, loading up the bases with nobody out. Fell apart for about a half hour for St. John Bosco, and they have yet to recover. First pitch misses up and away on Parita. The count's 1 ball, no strikes. On deck, Tanner Wilcoxon, who will hit in place of Ben Ryland. 1-0. Curveball in there for a strike. It's 1-1. Interesting there. Might have crossed up his catcher, who goes out for another chat. Catcher initially slid to the left, and the ball came back and hit the outside edge. 1 ball and 1 strike. The two sorted out. Parita ready to go once again. 1 ball and 1 strike. The senior catcher playing designated hitter tonight over at first base is Gillian. See if he tries to take off for second. Aside from the first baseman holding him there, everybody else playing straight up. Here's a softly hit line drive out to right. That'll fall for a base hit. Gillian stops at second base, and Parita's got 2 hits tonight. 7th hit of the ball game for the Lancers, and he is batting .800 so far in the young year. 2 on and 1 out. Tanner Wilcoxon will step in for Ben Ryland. Wilcoxon has 2 at-bats this season and 1 base hit. Noah Rodriguez on deck as the Lancers start to bring in the reserves here late in the ball game. Santa Margarita has taken a 2-1 lead over Mater Dei out in Santa Ana, so the Eagles trying to stay 1 loss behind the Lancers in league play as this pitch, hits the outside edge for a strike, 0-1. Should the Eagles hang on out there, they would improve to 4-3 in league play. Of course, Orange Lutheran has yet to play Santa Margarita. They won't play for another month or so. So Lancers have 2 tournaments in between this series and their last. 0-1, curveball. Started inside, gets over the inside edge, strike 2, 0-2. Wilcoxon listed as an infielder. He's in his junior season. Stands mostly straight up in the box. Tall, thin frame for a junior. Leans in a bit with the upper body. 0-2. That one bounces away. Gillian's going to go to third. Here's the throw, and they're going to get him. That one didn't get far away from Sinisak, and a strong throw gets Gilliam over at third. Going to second base is Parita, and that'll be the second out of the inning for Orange Lutheran. That'll go as a 2-5 putout. Parita moves up, so a base hit could still potentially score a run, but it's 1 ball and 2 strikes here on Tanner Wilcoxon. Slightly open stance for the junior, right-hander. Smith trying to get out of the inning unscathed here. Another right-hander warming up in the bullpen for St. John Bosco. Curveball misses a bit away, and the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, Noah Rodriguez on deck for the Braves in the top of the 6th. That'll be the bottom of the order due up. 8-1 the score. Runner at second. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the 5th. Orange Lutheran has had the lead since the first inning. Smith out of the stretch. Here comes the pitch, and this one fouled straight back. A curveball that stayed a bit up in the zone and would have landed on the outside edge. 2 balls and 2 strikes, the count remains. So Jay Serra improves to 4-6. Servite falls to 3-4. That score helps Orange Lutheran. Santa Margarita looking to win and improve to 4-3. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch, and this one is fought off the inside part of the plate. The count remains 2-2. If Santa Margarita were to win and this score holds up, Santa Margarita and St. John Bosco would be in a tie for second at 4-3. Orange Lutheran would improve to 8-2. Everybody else would have a losing record to this point. 3-4 for Servite, 4-6 for J. Serra, and 1-6 for Mater Dei. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Smith looks back at second. Here's the pitch, and here's a chopper towards third. Picked up there at third. The throw to first is in time. Nice play by Davin Vasquez, and that will retire the Lancers here in the bottom of the 5th. So Orange Lutheran gets a couple of base runners to second base, but can't bring them around to score. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We are through 5 complete here at Hart Park. Orange Lutheran leads St. John Bosco 8-1. We'll be right back with the top of the 6th in just a moment. This is Lance. Getting set for the top of the 6th here at Hart Park, an 8-1 Orange Lutheran lead as J.D. Rodriguez is back to the hill here for the Lancers. Both coaches meeting with the home plate umpire before the start of this frame. And it appears we will move on as Davin Vasquez will lead things off here for the Braves. 7, 8, and 9 in the St. John Bosco order due up in this inning as J.D. Rodriguez gave up 1 run on 2 hits. He also walked a batter in the top of the 5th, but he did strike out 2, and he was able to strand runners at second and third. First pitch is upstairs here on Vasquez, and the count's 1 ball and no strikes. So Vasquez on deck is Jake Ellison, a senior outfielder. He'll bat in place of Kramer. And Caleb Brandon's spot is due up third. We'll see if we have a pinch hitter there. Believe that would be Elias Archie due up as he took over. Here's a ground ball that gets through the glove of Borba and into left field. And a third base hit here for the Braves as Davin Vasquez gets himself into the hit column to lead things off here in the top of the 6th. Fastball up in the zone that he was able to get on top of a bit. Hard hit ground ball to the left-hand side. That puts a leadoff man aboard for the 2nd consecutive inning here for St. John Bosco. Jake Ellison will be the next man up. There is Elias Archie in the on-deck circle. Rodriguez looks over his shoulder at first, fires to the plate. Breaking ball. Tejeda thought about throwing to first, but the ball slipped out of his throwing hand on the transfer, and the count goes to 0-1. Rodriguez has been able to spin that slider pretty well so far in this appearance. Crowding the plate a bit here is the outfielder, Jake Ellison. No balls, 1 strike. Ground ball to third. This one is a fair ball. Throw over to first. Will not be in time. It's a bit offline. Miranda's able to keep it in the infield, and the runners will stay at first and second. Tough play for Borbos right down the line. They give him a hit, an infield single for Ellison. And with 2 on and nobody out, Elias Archie will be up here for the Braves. So after 2 consecutive 1-2-3 frames by Oliver Santos, the Braves are now starting to get runners on base again here in the 5th and 6th. 2 on, nobody out. Back-to-back base hits to the left-hand side. As the ball comes in from the Braves bullpen. Back-to-back base hits on the left side by Vasquez and Ellison. First pitch to Archie. This one is in there for a called strike. It's 0-1. Elias Archie, 1 for 3 this season. And another one comes in from the bullpen from St. John Bosco, and we'll have another stoppage in play as this one's collected and tossed back down. Right-hander warming up in the bullpen for the Braves. Orange Lutheran has a left-hander warming up in the bullpen. This one swung on and tipped into the mitt of Tejeda behind the plate. The count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. We're here in the top of the 6th. Runners at first and second, nobody out. 8-1 the score. Orange Lutheran with the lead. Reserves in for St. John Bosco here in the ball game. Vasquez at second, Ellison over at first. Here's the pitch, and that one misses low. The count's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Elias Archie at the plate. And on deck for the Braves is Julian Orozco, who should be tomorrow night's starting pitcher. One ball, 2 strikes out of the stretch. Here's the pitch. Slider tails outside. It's 2-2. Rodriguez, good size on the mound. He's close to a sidearm pitcher. He's allowed 2 base hits to open up the frame here. Waiting for the pitch here from Richard Tejeda. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here comes the offering. This one popped up to the right side. Staying in the infield here is Chase Cummings. He'll make the catch, and that'll be the first out of the frame. Both runners staying at first and second. Back to the top of the order we go, except it'll be Julian Orozco due up. He'll bat in place of Sergio Gonzalez, who didn't have an official at bat tonight. Ended up walking 3 times, and he came around to score in the top of the 5th.
Number 6, Julian Orozco.
So Julian Orozco steps in. Again, he will be the man on the mound tomorrow night, most likely, here for St. John Bosco. Stands straight up in the box. 6 foot even, 175 in his senior season. Here comes the first pitch, and a breaking ball in there for a called strike. It's 0-1. Again, Rodriguez has thrown that slider well tonight. If he misses, it's outside, trying to get the batters to chase. No balls, 1 strike. Runners at first and second. And Orozco calls for time. Looks like defensively everybody remains the same here for Orange Lutheran except for the catcher Tejeda, who has to reach back and up to grab that one. A fastball that's up and in, and the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Orange Lutheran has brought up just about all reserves at the plate over the last couple of innings. Rodriguez looks back at second, fires, a swing and a miss. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Rodriguez starting to work back here after giving up back-to-back hits to open up the frame. Got ahead and stayed ahead of Elias Archie, and now doing the same here. This one right back up the middle. That'll be a base hit. Stopping at third base is Vasquez, and the throw goes back to the pitching mound where Gabe Miranda is covering. That'll load the bases with 1 out. And that'll bring up Michael Mulligan for his second plate appearance here tonight. So that one a hard hit single back up the middle. Curiel gets to it quickly. And they stop the runner at third. So Vasquez at third. At second is Ellison. Now over at first is Julian Orozco, and Michael Mulligan with an RBI opportunity here with the bases loaded and 1 out. 0 for 1 so far tonight as Rodriguez awaits the sign here from Tejeda. He comes set. Here comes the pitch. Low and away. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. Lone out in this frame, Elias Archie, a pop out to second baseman Chase Cummings. 1 ball, no strikes. Upstairs with the fastball, it's 2-0. Bosco now up to 5 hits after collecting their first in the top of the 5th inning. Oliver Santos, despite walking 5 and allowing 1 on an error, did not give up any hits in 4 innings of work tonight. As that pitch hits the zone, it's 2 balls and 1 strike. In for Mulligan, he struck out swinging his first time up. Here comes the 2-1. This one lined out into left field. Ryland coming in for it, and he makes a lunging basket catch. They'll allow the run to score from third as Vasquez comes through on a sacrifice fly by Michael Mulligan. And St. John Bosco has its second run. It's now 8-2. So that'll go down as a sac fly to left.
Catcher, number 2.
Vasquez comes home. The other two runners stay at first and second. Now with 2 outs, it'll be Max Sinasak into the ball game here for Dylan Tagium. First plate appearance for him tonight. First pitch, slider in there for a called strike. It's 0-1. So in 1 2/3 innings of work, the Braves have gotten to Rodriguez for a couple of runs here. Again, nice play out and left by Ben Ryland to keep that from being more than 1 run, as this one in there for a called strike as well. Back-to-back sliders, and he's got Sinasak in a hole, no balls, and 2 strikes. Ellison at second. Over at first is Orozco. Here comes the pitch, and that one's low. Fastball. The count goes to 1-2. Rios on deck. He's got an RBI double to his credit so far tonight. Dylan Tagium ended up going 1 for 3 on the night with a single back in the 5th inning. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch, and this one up the left-hand side. Tough play. Slipping there is Rodriguez as he tried to pick it up off the ground, and it will be an infield single for Max Sinasak. So again, the bases are loaded here for St. John Bosco. And the next man up will be Rios, the guy who doubled home a run back in the 5th inning. And before we get to that point, Eric Borb is going to make the walk to the mound, and we'll see if that'll do it for Rodriguez here tonight. Goes as an infield base hit, but again, perfectly spotted there between the catcher and the pitcher. And just unfortunate placement there for Rodriguez as he hands over the baseball. We'll have a new pitcher, a left-hander, coming into the ball game, as the Braves have the bases loaded with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. They're down 8-2. We'll take a quick break. We'll tell you about the new arm in just a moment. This is Lancers Baseball on CA Sports Zone and the Coach's Radar. Welcome back to Hart Park. We're in the top of the 6th inning with 2 outs and the bases loaded here for St. John Bosco. The Lancers will make another call to the bullpen and bring out J.J. Robles, making his first appearance on the mound in a varsity game for the Lancers this year. Robles, we've seen him make a start as the designated hitter. We've also seen him in pinch hit opportunities at the plate. This will be our first look at him on the mound. A left-hander at about 6 feet 3 inches tall. He will face off against another left-hander at the plate in Isaiah Rios. Again, Rios doubled home a run to right center field back in the top of the 5th inning. He's 1 for 1 so far tonight, as the Lancers put up 8 runs in the bottom of the 1st, and St. John Bosco has been slowly trying to claw its way back ever since. Again, bases loaded. Ellison now over at third. At second is Orozco. As the first pitch comes in, it's swung on and missed. Robles loses the hat but gains a strike, and it's 0-1. Over at first base is Max Sinasak. For the Braves in this inning, they've got 4 base hits. They're now up to 2 runs on 6 hits in the ball game. Robles working out of the stretch, has good velocity on the fastball. Here comes the pitch, and another one. This one blocked by Tejeda behind the plate, and the count evens out. 1 ball and 1 strike. Isaiah Rios, 6 feet even, 175. He's in his junior season. Ranked 223rd in the class in the state of California by PBR, but again, that's why the games aren't played on paper. They're 11-3, despite having little recognition in terms of player rankings, and they've got a few commitments this year. But again, they are 11-3 and 4-2 in league play. And again, if it wasn't for a disastrous first inning, they'd likely be in this ball game here tonight. As Robles misses with the 1-1. It's now 2 balls and 1 strike after a quick meeting with Richard Tejeda. He's ready to go once again. Here comes the 2-1. Low, 3 balls and 1 strike. No place to put Rios here. Robles has got to throw a strike. Again, Ellison at third, at second base, Orozco at first base, Sinisak. All reserves for the Braves here. 3 balls, 1 strike, and that one misses low. He's walked home a run. That'll be charged to J.D. Rodriguez, and it's now 8-3 in favor of St. John Bosco. Or pardon me, in favor of Orange Lutheran, my mistake. So Robles comes in and walks the first batter he faces.
Number 4.
Braves go station to station, and now it'll be the right-hander, Jeremy LaRosa, in for his second plate appearance. He's 0 for 1. He struck out back in the 5th. First pitch is up and away, and the count's 1 ball and no strikes. And immediately, Orange Lutheran is sending another pitcher down to the bullpen. And this is turning into a bit of a wild affair late here as that fastball hits the outside edge, evens us up 1 ball and 1 strike. This is the 3rd time tonight that the Braves have had the bases loaded. They loaded them up in the 1st and 2nd against Oliver Santos and couldn't find anything to show for it as that one misses low. It's 2-1. Right-hander starting to loosen up here for Orange Lutheran. 2 balls, 1 strike. Fastball low. 3 balls and 1 strike. Robles in danger of walking home a second run here. Orozco is the man at third. Here comes the 3-1. Fastball misses outside. Another run comes around to score. And it's now 8-4 in favor of Orange Lutheran. The Braves bringing up their 9th man to bat here in the 6th.
Let's go! Let's go, dugout!
Second baseman,
Bosco!
number 5.
So Robles struggling out of the gate here. On 10 pitches, he's walked home 2 runs. And now it's going to be Alex Mendez with the opportunity. Here comes the pitch. Fastball outside edge for a strike. It's 0-1. Mendez 0 for 1. He bounced out to second his first time up. That was with runners at second and third in the top of the 5th. Sinisak now the man at third. Here comes the pitch. This one fouled off to the right. It's 0-2. Sinisak at third. Rios at second. Over at first is Jeremy LaRosa. 3 runs in the frame here for St. John Bosco on 4 hits in the inning. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bases loaded. Here's the pitch well outside. It's 1-2. Orange Lutheran in the bottom half of this frame will have the number 2 batter in the order to lead things off. The 1-2 pitch on its way here from Robles. And this one, a ground ball up the middle, picked up by Romero. He will throw to first, and that will do it for St. John Bosco here in the top of the inning. But they score 3 runs on 4 hits, no errors, and the bases left loaded. And at the end of 5.5, it's now Orange Lutheran 8 and St. John Bosco 4. This is Lancers Baseball on CA Sports Zone and the Coach's Radar. The Lancer baseball sponsor, K-Zone Training Center. Lancer baseball sponsor K-Zone Training Center is an indoor baseball and softball training facility located in Yorba Linda. Open 7 days a week, it offers 5 lanes, including 2 with pitching mounds and hack attack machines, 3 tee. Appointments can be booked online at kzonebpcages.com. That's kzonebpcages.com, K-Zone Training Center. Book your appointment today. And baseball fans, Bellflower Collision, where quality is no accident, is an authorized repair shop for Norm Reeves Honda, the #1 Honda dealer in the world. Visit them at bellflowercollision.com. That's bellflowercollision.com. It's bottom of the 6th inning we go. New pitcher on the mound for St. John Bosco as the Lancers lead 8-4. Derek Curiel in the on-deck circle. He will lead things off. Mikey Romero out there with the bat as well, and so too is Casey Borba. 2, 3, and 4 due up in this frame. New pitcher for St. John Bosco is Chris Uccio. So the right-hander will take over for Brandon Smith, who got through a scoreless bottom of the 5th inning. Uccio this season has made 1 appearance on the mound. He's pitched 2/3 of an inning. He allowed 2 hits, but struck out 2. And has no ERA to speak of to this point. He'll try to get through the bottom of the 6th and get the offense back up in the top of the 7th. Again, the Lancers will send up Curiel, Romero, and Borba here in the frame. They've scored 8 runs in the bottom of the 1st. They have not scored since, and they have watched as their lead has shrunk over the last 2 innings by half, as it's now 8-4. So Uccio ready to go. He'll be matched up with Sinisak behind the plate. Here comes Derek Curiel. He is 2 for 3 so far tonight. Last time up, back in the 3rd inning, he flew out to left. Started off with a bouncing ball through the hole on the right side of the infield and scored a run. Also had an RBI base hit in the 2nd inning, later in the 1st inning, I should say. So the first pitch comes in from Uccio. This one bunted foul to the left-hand side. The count is 0-1. .6'2" left-handed batter, Curiel. Trying to bunt his way aboard to open things up. See if he does the same here with the 0-1 offering. Uccio, the right-hander, kicks in, deals. Just missed the outside edge, and the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Curiel, the #2 ranked sophomore in the state of California. Ben Ryland also in the top 15. I believe he's at number 11. 1 ball, 1 strike. Curiel awaits and will call for time. It's not granted here. Here comes the pitch. Breaking ball down, and the count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. Again, you have to wonder if St. John Bosco hadn't scored those 3 runs in the top of the inning, if the Lancers would have reserves in for these spots. Either way, Curiel gets another opportunity. Here's a ground ball towards second. It's picked up there by Mendez. Throw over to first in time. Curiel retired for out number 1. So Curiel will end his night 2 of 4. Mikey Romero due up next. He's 0 for 2 so far with a walk in the 1st and a run scored.
Now batting for your Lancers, shortstop, number 35, Mikey Romero.
This part of the order, Curiel and Romero, both of them had 2 at-bats in the 1st inning, or 2 plate appearances in the 1st inning. And then a 3rd in the 3rd inning, but they had not been up since then. So St. John Bosco has done well to keep this Lancer offense stalled after that 1st inning. And Romero doesn't see his 4th appearance until here in the 7th. First pitch misses outside. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Uccio ready to go. The right-hander kicks and deals. That one a bit overthrown. It bounces in the dirt and away from Sinisak behind the plate. The count's 2 balls and no strikes. Santa Margarita has finished off that victory over Mater Dei. The Eagles improved to 4-3 in league play. Mater Dei falls to 1-6. 2-1 the final in 8 innings in Santa Ana. And, of course, we mentioned it earlier, Servite falling to Jay Serra. The Lions putting up 10 on Servite tonight. This one ripped down the right field line, but foul by Romero, and the count's 2 balls and 1 strike. Jay Serra improves to 4 and 6 in league play. Servite falls to 3 and 4. So the Lancers really the only team to this point that's been able to break away above 500. They are 7 and 2 coming into the ball game here today, looking to make it 8 and 2. Here comes the pitch from Uchillo. It's upstairs, and the count goes to 3 and 1. Prompt a visit here from Sinisak. We're here in the bottom of the 6th with 1 out. Favorable count here for Mikey Romero. It's 3 balls and 1 strike. Again, you have to wonder how this game would look had the first inning not been so disastrous. St. John Bosco with 3 costly errors that allowed most of those 8 runs to come around to score. Lancers 8 runs on 7 hits tonight with 1 error. St. John Bosco 4 runs on 6 hits with 3 errors. Here comes the 3-1 from Uchillo. And that one bounces in. Romero will head down to first as Sinisak chases it behind the plate. But he'll get to it quickly, and Romero will just remain at the first base bag. 1 on, 1 out here for Casey Borba, who will make his 4th appearance at the plate.
Now batting for your Lancers.
1 for 3 tonight for the junior third baseman. An RBI base hit and a run scored back in the first. He was the last at bat in the first inning. He flew out to right to end the frame. He struck out swinging in the 4th. That was against Jace Paderas. Borba will step in once again. Came in batting .316, picking up his 13th hit of the year. First pitch in there for a strike, and the count's 0-1. Again, you also have to wonder what this offense would look like for St. John Bosco when Dylan Lena comes back. The shortstop, a Team USA baseball member, has not played since the 4th game of the season for St. John Bosco, and he was off to a scorching start. 6 of 7 with 4 extra base hits, including 2 doubles, a triple, and a home run. Here's the pitch, and this one's upstairs. Counts 1 ball and 1 strike. We saw him take batting practice. We saw him fielding ground balls at shortstop, but during that infield practice was when Don Barber said, yeah, he still looks like he's not quite 100% on that hamstring, and decided to make some changes in the lineup. This one low and inside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Borba gets ahead of the count. Runner at first is Mikey Romero, 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Again, you'll know over the next 2 games if Lena's back in the starting lineup because you'll see that long flowing hair out of the back of the hat. Really talented player. At the shortstop position, if he's back in, Sergio Gonzalez would shift over to second base. 2 balls, 1 strike. Uchillo will throw over to first, and back in standing up is Mikey Romero. Jordan Cole's going to get the start on the mound tomorrow night for the Lancers. We believe it'll be Julian Orozco for St. John Bosco. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. This one lifted deep out to left center field. Running back for it is Archie. It'll be over his head, and it bounces off the wall. Archie actually jumps up for it and grabs it out of the air before it comes back down. The relay will leave Romero at third. Casey Borba's got a double, and the Lancers have 2 in Bosco. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. This one lifted deep out to left center field. Running back for it is Archie. It'll be over his head, and it bounces off the wall. Archie actually jumps up for it and grabs it out of the air before it comes back down. The here in the bottom of the 6th. Tejeda got a start last week on Friday, went 0 for 2. Has a chance to bring home a run. Here comes the pitch, and this one is a curveball low and away, blocked well by Sinisak. That keeps the runners at second and third respectively, 1-0. Gabe Miranda on deck. See who the Braves bring up in the top half of the 7th. When we get there, it'll be the bottom 3 in the order due up again as they sent 9 men to the plate in the top of the 6th. 1 ball, no strikes. Chio out of the stretch. Here comes the pitch, and this one hits the outside edge for a called strike. It's 1-1. Tejeda stands mostly straight up in the box. Junior right-hander even stance at the plate. It's the backup catcher to Carson Bowen. Here comes the pitch, and that one skips through the legs. Here comes Romero to the plate, and he will get there safely as the Lancers score their 9th run of the ball game. It's now 9-4. Borba moving up to 3rd, and the count goes to 2-1 here on Richard Tejeda. That'll be a passed ball there on the count of Sinisak. Infield will be drawn in, or stay drawn in here for St. John Bosco with 1 out. Tejeda came into the ball game to work with J.D. Rodriguez over the last 2 frames. 2 balls, 1 strike. Uchillo with the pitch, and that one's low and away again. 3 balls and 1 strike here on the junior catcher. Shakes the bat with the right hand. Mendez going back to his spot at second base, kind of closing up that gap on the right side of the infield. Outfield playing straight up. Left-hander warming up in the bullpen for St. John Bosco just in case. 3-1. Popped up, fouling out of play to the right. Count goes full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. So again, all 3 night games here tonight. Tomorrow, this one here between Orange Lutheran and St. John Bosco will be the only night game. The other 2 games will take place at 3:15 as Servite and Santa Margarita host game 2. So we'll have those scores before we get started here tomorrow night as Tejeda calls for time. He's up 3 balls and 1 strike here on Chris Uchillo. Senior right-handed pitcher trying to get through the frame by just allowing just 1 run. Runner at 3rd with 1 out. Breaking ball stays upstairs. That pops out of the glove. Here comes Borba. This one might be in a bit more trouble, however, and they get him at the plate. Sinisak is able to get to the ball quickly, and he tosses it back to Uchillo, who applies the tag. And Borba runs into an out at home for out number 2. That now leaves a runner over at first base as Tejeda earns the walk, and that'll bring up Noah Rodriguez. So Borba cut off. That keeps the Lancers at a 9-4 lead. Runner at first now, Tejeda. And instead of Gabe Miranda, they're going to bring up Noah Rodriguez here with 2 outs.
Your attention, please. This change for your Lancers. Now batting, number 6.
So Rodriguez will step in here. First plate appearance of the night here for the junior. He's 0 for 5 so far on the season with 2 runs scored. Right-handed batter. We'll battle here against Uchillo, who checks the runner over at first and comes set. Here comes the pitch, and this one popped up, fouling out of play to the right-hand side. Count goes to 0-1. Looks to be Ryan Irwin on deck. So Lancers now start to go to their reserves. Again, Romero came around to score earlier. Borba out at the plate as Sinisak tracked down a passed ball and got it back to Uchillo for the out. Good curveball there, puts Rodriguez down 0-2. Again, bottom of the 6th inning, a run across here for Orange Lutheran. The lead's now 9-4. 8 hits for the Lancers as Rodriguez chokes up on the bat. Right-hander awaits the 0-2. Looking outside is Sinisak. Here comes the pitch, and it's low and outside. Nice block there as it bounces in. And the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Again, Irwin on deck. Uchillo looking for that put-away pitch here with 2 outs. Working with the catcher, Sinisak, who applies the sign. Looks over at first and comes set. The senior right-hander Kicks and deals. Here comes the pitch. Curveball check swing. He went around, and that will do it for the Lancers here in the bottom of the 6th inning. But they do put up 1 run on 1 hit. No errors and 1 man left on base. We head to the top of the 7th. Last chance for St. John Bosco. It's 9-4 Orange Lutheran. This is Lancers Baseball on CA Sports Zone and the Coach's Radar.
Luxury beauty studio providing permanent makeup, facials, and eyelash extensions services.
Top of the 7th we go. Orange Lutheran with a 9-4 lead over St. John Bosco here at Hart Park, and the Lancers will try to turn to J.J. Robles to close this thing out. He'll face off against the bottom 3 in the Braves order as Davin Vasquez will lead things off, and Jake Ellison will bat second. Batting third will be Elias Archie. If anybody gets on base, back to the top of the order we go. Davin Vasquez so far tonight is 1 for 1. Single back in the 6th inning and later came around to score. So Vasquez, the right-hander, will lead things off here against Robles, who came in for J.D. Rodriguez and got 1 out to end the top of the 6th, but not before allowing 2 more runs to score and a pair of bases-loaded walks, trying to turn things around here as he gets to start with a clean inning. First pitch outside on Vasquez, and the count 1 ball, no strikes. Again, Vasquez, the reserve at third base tonight in his junior season, watches a second pitch miss outside, and he's ahead of the count 2 balls, no strikes. Stroked a single to left his last time up. 2 balls, no strikes. That one misses again outside. 3 balls and no strikes. Orange Lutheran had a right-hander warming up in the bullpen in the last inning, but nobody out there right now. As Robles kicks and deals. That one's in there for a strike. It's 3-1. He's got the traditional delivery to the plate where he extends the glove behind the head and then kicks and deals. 6-3, backup first baseman to Gabe Miranda. Kicks and deals. That one's outside. It's a 5-pitch walk to Vasquez, who's on base for the second time tonight. And with 1 on and nobody out, it'll be Jake Ellison due up next.
Right fielder.
4 runs on 6 hits, 3 errors for the Braves tonight. 9 runs on 8 hits, 1 error for Orange Lutheran. All the damage for Orange Lutheran, almost all the damage done in the bottom of the 1st inning, as the first pitch here on the right-hander Ellison is in there for a called strike. It's 0-1. Braves have put up 1 run in the 5th, 3 runs in the 6th. Orange Lutheran tacked on 1 more in the bottom half of the 6th inning to bring us to the top of the 7th. Here comes the 0-1. 1-1. Low and inside. Even in the count here for Ellison. Jake Ellison, 6 feet even, 185. Took over for Adam Kramer, the right fielder, back in the 5th inning. Here comes the pitch. This one a ground ball towards short, picked up by Romero. The throw to second for 1, over to first, and that's not in time. Ellison beats it out, but they get the lead runner, I should say, at second base for out number 1. And with 1 out and a runner at first, Elias Archie will be the next man up here for St. John Bosco. Sergio Gonzalez is in the the on-deck circle, as he will bat in his spot in the order. If Elias Archie can keep this going here in the 7th. First pitch misses low from Robles, and the count's 1 ball and no strikes. So fielder's choice for Ellison puts him on base for the second time tonight. Archie 0 for 1. He popped out to second the first time up. This one a pop up into shallow right field. It'll be Vortman who comes in for it, and he'll make the catch for out number 2. And the Braves down to their final out here tonight as Sergio Gonzalez will make his way to the plate. He has not had an official at bat. He has walked in all 3 of his plate appearances and has scored a run.
Shortstop, number 1, Sergio Gonzalez.
Was pinch hit for in the 6th, and it was a base hit, and later a run scored. So the number 1 spot in the order for the Braves has reached base in all 4 appearances tonight. First pitch from Robles is low, and the count's 1 ball and no strikes. Ellison's over at first. 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. Robles has gotten a fielder's choice and a fly ball out to right so far. Mike Mulligan on deck. Here comes the pitch, and this one fouled straight back, and the count goes to 1-1. Sergio Gonzalez came in with a .359 batting average. It'll stay that way at least up to this point in the ball game. 14 hits, 12 runs scored for him this year. Again, he's been the guy at the shortstop position filling in for Dylan Lena. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch, and that one bounces. That gets away from Tejeda, and that'll allow Ellison to get into scoring position. The count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. Ellison now at second base. Again, Mulligan on deck. Hit a sacrifice fly his last time up. Two balls, 1 strike, the pitch to Gonzalez. That one's up and away. 3 balls and 1 strike. Again, 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. Orange Lutheran trying to close the door here. There is an arm in the bullpen, but it doesn't appear he's actively warming up. That fastball hits at the letters. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Senior Sergio Gonzalez, the 5'5" infielder. Even stance at the plate, runner at second. Here comes the payoff with 2 outs. This one slashed foul to the right, and we'll try it again. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Again, if the score holds up, St. John Bosco now in a tie for second with Santa Margarita. The Lancers would improve to 8-2 in league play. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch, and that one's upstairs. A walk to Sergio Gonzalez, and we'll continue it here with Mike Mulligan. Runners at first and second. Gonzalez has walked 4 times tonight.
Fielder, number 26.
And now it'll be Michael Mulligan, who again hit that sacrifice fly on a line out towards left. Ellison at second. Gonzalez over at first. Robles trying to get the final out. Here comes the pitch, and that one's low. It's 1 ball and no strikes. And there's more players heading down to the bullpen here for Orange Lutheran. 1 ball, no strikes. Here comes the pitch, and that one again misses low. 2 balls and no strikes. Well, again, Orange Lutheran off to a sprint at the beginning of the ball game. They are now stumbling, trying to get across the finish line. This one a line drive, but foul down the right field line and out of play. 2 balls and 1 strike. Robles ready again. 2-1 outside. Called a strike, however. Outside edge, says the home plate umpire. And now the Braves down to their final strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runners at first and second. 2 outs here on the top of the 7th. Mulligan twirls the bat as he gets set. Here comes the pitch from Robles. And this one again fouled off to the right as he stays alive. Does Mulligan. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Orange Lutheran looking for their 9th win in a row over St. John Bosco, dating back to the 2019 season. Pardon me, 2018 season. Runners get their leads, first and second. Here's the 2-2. This one again poked foul to the right. Robles, or pardon me, Mulligan not letting this one get away. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Ellison over at second. At first is Sergio Gonzalez. Robles will try again for the 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, and Tejeda will clear a lane, will throw down to first, and that will do it. Orange Lutheran takes game 1 of this 3-game series. The final score, Lancers 9, St. John Bosco 4. Orange Lutheran improves to 13-2 overall and 8-2 in league play. The Braves fall to 11-4 overall and 4-3 in league play. Winning pitcher tonight, Oliver Santos, goes 4 innings of scoreless baseball and does not allow a hit tonight, though he did allow 5 walks and another runner to reach on an error. The loss tonight will go to Dylan Proust, who falls to 0-1 on the year after a tough first inning. Orange Lutheran had control early on, and they were able to basically just cruise to the victory here tonight. St. John Bosco put up 4 runs late in the ball game, but the early hole was just too much to overcome as the Lancers again win tonight by a final of 9-4. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back to recap this one and talk about the upcoming, the last 2 games of the series as Orange Lutheran improves to 13-2 and 8-2 in league play with a 9-4 victory over St. John Bosco here tonight. We'll be right back with more. This is Lancers Baseball here on CA Sports Zone and the Coach's Radar. Final score here tonight, Orange Lutheran 9, St. John Bosco 4. A game in which Orange Lutheran was staked to a massive early lead and basically just cruised to the win after that. The Lancers put up 8 runs in the bottom of the first inning and, again, relied on a couple of pitchers late to get through the last few innings as they improved to 13-2 overall and 8-2 in league play. For St. John Bosco, they fall to 11-4. And 4-3 in league play. Again, it was all in that bottom of the first inning. That was really what did it for the Lancers, actually for both teams here tonight, as Orange Lutheran put up those 8 runs. It was an 8-run inning on 5 hits. There were 3 St. John Bosco errors that were very costly in that inning and allowed 5 runs to score. And the Lancers left 2 men on base, but really it seemed like it was kind of a pedestrian effort for the Lancers after that, as the momentum just kind of slowed down in the middle innings. Late in the ball game, they were able to get some base runners on in the 5th and 6th and score a run in the bottom of the 6th. But really, it just seemed like they were content with the 8 runs and were willing to just let it go as the Braves kind of clawed their way back into it with a run in the 5th and 3 runs in the 6th inning, as a couple of relievers struggled a bit out of the pen for Orange Lutheran here tonight. But again, Oliver Santos was staked to an 8-0 lead in the bottom of the first. It was a bit of an uncharacteristic start for him as well, as he walked the bases loaded in the first with 3 walks, but got out of it on a fly ball out to right by Caleb Milanes. And then in the second inning, 2 walks and an error loaded the bases with 1 out, but he struck out Hunter Friedberg and was able to get Dylan Tagiam on a fielder's choice to get out of the inning as well. After that, he settled in. He retired the last 6 batters he faced in the 3rd and 4th, and he was done for the night after that. He ends up picking up his 4th win of the year. He's now 4-0. And after that, it was J.D. Rodriguez in the 5th inning. He gave up 1 run on 2 hits. An RBI double by Isaiah Rios got the Braves on the scoreboard. Then he went back out for the 6th inning, allowed back-to-back base hits to open up the frame before a pop-out by Elias Archie, but then another base hit loaded the bases, a sacrifice fly by Mike Mulligan plated the 2nd run, and then back-to-back bases loaded walks issued by J.J. Robles allowed 2 more runs to score, as all of a sudden St. John Bosco made it a little interesting and made it 8-4. But then in the bottom half of the inning, it was Casey Borba with a deep double to left center field that put runners at 2nd and 3rd after Mikey Romero walked with 1 out. And a run would come home to score on a pass ball. Casey Borba would try to do the same, but he would be tagged out by the pitcher Chris Uchillo trying to score, and the Lancers would just keep it at a 9-4 ball game. J.J. Robles then walked a pair in the 7th and had runners at 1st and 2nd before he got Mike Mulligan to strike out swinging to end the ball game. So again, it was 8 runs in the 1st inning, but 5 of those were aided by St. John Bosco errors. The big ones, a throwing error by Nico Riera with the bases loaded, trying to throw home on a ground ball by Carson Bowen. It got away from the catcher. That allowed 2 runs to score. And then later in the inning, a fielding error by Aiden Alexander at 3rd base on a ground ball by Sawyer Vortman. And then a throw over to 1st that got away from Nico Riera, allowed 2 more runs to score. And then the 3rd error in the frame was another one that bounced off of the glove of Riera and went into right center field. And the Lancers put up 1 run on that play as well. So, again, 8 runs, but 5 of them coming through on errors. And again, after that 1st inning in which they put up 5 hits, the Lancers only had 3 the rest of the way, 1 of them coming in the 2nd inning and then 1 each in the 5th and the 6th. So, again, it was a win for Orange Lutheran. But for a team that likes to keep the foot on the gas pedal, it seemed like they kind of let it off tonight a little bit. But they will certainly take the win here and move to 13-2 overall. For St. John Bosco, they'll try to bounce back. They'll have Julian Orozco on the mound for them. He's their best pitcher, at least among the starters for the Braves. He was given an extra day of rest here this week. He will get the start tomorrow opposite Jordan Cole as Dylan Proust takes the loss tonight. He goes to 0-1. He faced 8 batters in the 1st inning. Only got 1 out, a strikeout of Gabe Miranda, before he gave it up to Jace Paderes, who got the Braves through 3 2/3 scoreless innings beyond that. So again, the win goes to Oliver Santos. He's 4-0. He did not allow a run, did not allow a hit in 4 innings of work here tonight. The loss goes to Dylan Proust. The Lancers are 13-2 overall. They are 8-2 in league play. St. John Bosco now 11-4 overall and 4-3 in league play. They'll meet again in less than 24 hours here at Hart Park for game number 2. Again, that pitching matchup, Jordan Cole for the Lancers taking on Julian Orozco for St. John Bosco. That'll do it for us here tonight on a cold Tuesday night here in Orange, California. For John Legg, my name is Nathan Percy. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining us. Our next Lancer broadcast tomorrow night, 7 p.m. We'll go live with the Lancer pregame show at 6:45 p.m. Until then, we hope you have a great evening. This has been Lancers Baseball on CA Sports Zone and the Coach's Radar. Good night, everybody. So long.